and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino, Holy Roast, and Whole Bean or Grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
This is Capcom. We are ready to go for launch at the Crusade Channel launch site. New show lineup.
Go.
Broadcasting live on X, YouTube, and Rumble.
We're go fly.
Breaking news updates. Go. The Mike Church Show Band.
We're go.
We're go for launch for the Crusade Channel 4.0 mothership.
2, 1, lift off.
On August 4th, the Crusade Channel launched Crusade Channel 4.0, the mothership. And now you can see why everyone else is lost in space.
Our saint of the day is Saint Andrew, and you can learn all about him in today's Saint of the Day podcast at crusadechannel.com. Looking at headlines from the entertainment and health world today, a new study published in the Journal of Lipid Research suggests that soybean oil, the most widely consumed cooking oil in the United States, may play a direct role in promoting obesity, and the effect appears tied to how the body processes one of its main components. Researchers fed mice a diet rich in soybean oil and tracked how they metabolized linoleic acid, an omega-6 fatty acid that makes up a large share of soybean oil. The acid is broken down into the body into molecules called oxylipins, and eating a lot of linoleic acid can raise the amount of these oxylipins. The study shows that certain oxylipins are linked to weight gain in mice. The New York Post is reporting a rich Brit is looking for a good breeder. Not the dog or horse kind. He's looking for the human kind. He has a 1,300-acre estate and 9-month supply of frozen sperm. Now he just needs a good breeder, he says. He's 79 years old. His name is Sir Benjamin Slade of Britain, and believe it or not, he's made Tinder accounts, taken out newspaper ads, and starred in a TV series, all in an effort to find a wife to produce an heir for his multi-million-dollar fortune. The baronet, a title just below baron and above most knights, revived his decades-long search for a spouse this week, listing a bizarre range of requirements for any future bride. Scorpios, Guardian news outlet readers, and people from countries beginning with the letter I or with green in the flag need not apply, Sir Benjamin said. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Silk Feather. Ma'am, what would you like to drink?
Oh, I'll take the Dom Perignon, of course.
Ah, the lady has taste. And you, sir?
I'll just take the Diet Coke.
Oh, dear.
You know, what I miss about the good old days before social media and AI ruined everything?
Let me guess. No fat people outside of the circus, and Ozempic was the name of the demon in C.S. Lewis story, right?
Well, yeah, but besides that, classic radio shows with actors and actual stories.
Well, lucky for the human race, the Crusade Channel is rolling over 900 episodes of a show called Suspense.
Tweak your mystery-solving muscles over lunch and catch episodes of Suspense, weekdays noon till 2 on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and classic radio the way it should be.
I like my version of suspense. Hey!
Doesn't work without me.
Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send.
I forget how many years that the Jimmy Buffett crossfade from Ted Nugent has been the Advent theme song. Whatever the anniversary, Advent blessings to all of you. We are here, we are live. It is a Monday. a Mike Church show on the Crusade channel, asking the question of the day.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you. Apparently, this past Black Friday for every place except the Founders Trading Post was record-breaking. And I haven't heard this in 11 months, so I forget how it ends.
And all the stars at night. Kalikimaka is the wise way to say Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas to you.
Of course, this will be the first Christmas without Jimmy Buffett, because he died.
The Republic will be reorganized
Into the first
Galactic Empire. For safe and secure society.
So I'm calling on Congress to pass these reforms, and I'm going to sign them in the law. You call down the thunder, well now you got it. You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Oh, alrighty, our call-in line telephone number all Advent long. Are you ready? Ready? Get set. 844-527-8723. No, he'll come in here with that stupid green ball hanging out of his mouth like, I know you guys are kind of working, but want to play catch? 844-527-8723, 844-5Crusade. Email address, same as it ever has been. It had, for the entire month of November, not one solitary proper use of my much beleaguered and battered email address. Not one. But it's December now, so we new slate. 844, I'm sorry, I am KingDude at protonmail.com. Maybe I should just go back to KingDude at mikechurch.com. I think people just have this aversion to the proton mail, or they just don't get it. Or maybe they can't remember. It's too many characters. KingDude at Mike Church. It's settled. We're going back to KingDude at mikechurch.com because it works. Oh, look, and there he is. Right on cue. But he doesn't have the green ball in his mouth. Today is also a Monday here, so you know what that means. Got to check in with the flight controllers.
Apollo 13 flight controllers.
Crusade flight controllers. Listen up.
Give me a go, no go.
Go,
for
no
launch.
go for launch.
Booster.
Chat room.
Go. Retro. Go.
Video.
We're go fly.
Podcast.
Surgeon.
Saying of the day.
Ecom.
Newscast.
GNC.
We're go.
Transom.
Control.
U-Boob.
Procedures.
X.
Inco.
Pride Book.
FAO. We are go.
Going from
Network.
good to great.
Government.
Go.
Capcom.
Recording.
We're go fly.
Launch control. This is Houston. We are go for launch.
I hope everyone had a wonderful and blessed Stuffmas Thanksgiving Day celebration. You know, that once a year, uniquely American holiday that is the envy of the rest of the world. You know, they're jealous of us. No one in the United States pines away for a stupid bank holiday. Well, maybe we should. See, the Brits get like Monday off and the last Monday in August. They get, or maybe it's the first Monday in August, I forget. They get another one in March or April. And they call them bank holidays, and I forget what the reason is, but Buckshot don't care. Nobody pines away for a bank holiday. But people across the world want a Thanksgiving. Lots of stuff to catch up on here. Folks, ginormous sale went on, and most of you missed it, in the Founders Trading Post store last Friday on Cyber Friday. So it's all been extended to today. I'm sorry, Black Friday has now been extended to Cyber Monday. You need to check your email. The links and the coupon codes and the items that are on sale. Some things at 90% off. In other words, would you just please come and spend $3? And then while you're here, maybe you bump into something else that you might want. Like one of those coffee lover gift sets that Maggie made that is so cool. The barbecue Grillmaster. The Grillmaster set that is so cool. So cool, I want one. Check them all out at shop.mikechurch.com. It's an interesting thing to me. I hate... I'm going to have a New Year's resolution. I'm not going to use the word interesting. We're going to have an interesting jar. We're going to have a language jar on the counter. If I say interesting improperly in a sentence, I got to put $1 in the jar. I'll be broke by the time we get to the 15th. It's a unprecedented thing to watch the activity that comes out of the office of the 47th President of the United States. Well, people claim that he's worthless, he's done nothing, he's broken all his campaign promises, he hasn't tried to MAGA. Did you MAGA today? Yes. Did you MAGA last week? Yes. Apparently he needs to hashtag MAGA harder. I stumbled upon, or Maggie stumbled upon, an interesting statistic, though. Where's the rundown of the EOs? I know it's here. Here it is. A president at full speed and a Congress asleep at the wheel. According to Ballotpedia, as of November 25th, 2025, President Donald Trump has signed 217 executive orders, 54 memoranda, and 110 proclamations in his second presidential term, which began on January the 20th, 2025. Let me repeat that number. 217 executive orders, 54 memoranda, and 110 proclamations in roughly 315 days. Yet House Speaker Mike Johnson acknowledged that Congress has codified only 28 of those actions into law. And that was just through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. That's barely 13%, almost identical to Gallup's 15% job approval rating for Congress. Coincidence or correlation? Here are the three things that Congress actually codified into law: energy, mining, and land use reforms, a structural shift toward domestic production, cost efficiency, anti-waste, and bureaucracy reduction measures, and sweeping immigration and border security policies. Now, those are all significant, and they are important, and they definitely needed to be done. But that leaves on the table dozens and dozens and dozens, scratch that, hundreds of EOs that have no congressional backup. Now, maybe some of them don't need Congress to codify. Here's some things that have not been actually done by Congress. 1, withdrawing the U.S. from the World Health Organization. 2, establishing a digital asset framework while banning a central bank digital currency, CBDC. Trump signed an executive order banning a central bank digital currency. How many of you, give me the cyanide pill, I'm at Jonestown, because of Trump people out there knew that? 3, ending DEI and gender ideology indoctrination in K through 12 education. Well, I think that you pretty much knocked most of that out by nuking the Department of Miseducation or Maleducation, that never educated a single solitary soul in its miserable 40-some-odd year existence here. It is something to ponder, though, that with a majority in either of the House and the Senate, the usual stupid party people can only be relied on to screw things up. You know, contrast that with what Gingrich was able to get done in 1996. Now, they started some things in 1994, but if memory serves me correctly, they didn't have the Senate. So because they didn't have the Republicans had only taken the House back, I think in 96, though, that they took back, that they had the Senate as well. They had a huge majority in 1994. All of those things were codified into law. Most of the things that were in the contract with America, although you'd be surprised at the things that were in the contract with America, because most people think that it was big shopping items. Actually, they were kind of mundane, detailed, obscure things that they had promised to do, and they executed most of them. I think that at the end of the day, the issue is you have a hulking behemoth of a ship of state. The people that were at least partly responsible, if not in majority responsible, that created this beast, seemingly to me, even though they talk a good game, don't really want to dismantle it. I think that is one of the probably the best explanation for what's actually going on. You choose comfort over controversy. Doing certain things are difficult. Doing the, even though some of these things just need to be nuked. You just go in and go like, okay, cite the Congress that passed a previous act that is causing all manner of problems. You just repeal the dang thing. You say from this day, you don't even have to, it takes 2 pages. Thomas Massey, Ron Paul offered over 100 of them. Just simple resolutions to go like, okay, we're just going to eliminate this agency, all its funding and its attendant programs, and if you work for it, then here is a schedule by which we're going to phase you out. But again, when your constituency is not actually people, and it is entities, then it's not the same thing. Let's see. This is I think that's it. Okay, there were 8 things. For example, in the contract with America, going back to 1994. This is from the RNC official website, Republican Contract with America, 27 September 1994. And by the way, we know this worked, because, again, they got to a balanced budget. First, require all laws that apply to the rest of the country also equally apply to Congress. Second, select a major independent auditing firm to conduct a comprehensive audit of Congress for waste, fraud, and abuse. Third, cut the number of House committees and cut committee staff by 1/3. Fourth, limit the terms of all committee chairs. Fifth, ban the casting of proxy votes in committee. You see what I was saying about how this is? These are details of things most people have no clue that Congress is even doing them. 6, require committee meetings to be open to the public. 7, now, that actually happened, and that is a pretty big one because they're all televised now. sick, and they used to have some of them in private. They did a closed-door committee meeting. No sunshine got in. But then it just turned into, you know what the end result of that was? Jasmine Crockett people taking him over and then using him to grandstand and to run for president of the NAACP or whatever other office she is seeking, because it's not a federal office in Congress. I'm convinced. Let's see here. 7th, required 3/5 majority vote to pass the tax increase. They did not get that one done. 8th, guarantee an honest accounting of our federal budget by implementing zero baseline budgeting. They did not get that done either. And in order to do number 8, they would have had to repeal the 1974 budget reconciliation and whatever that the BRAFTA, TAFTA, whatever the hell it was called. They would have to have repealed that act. And to my knowledge, they did not do it. Therefore, within the first 100 days of the 104th Congress, we shall bring to the House floor the following bills: the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the Taking Back Our Streets Act, the Personal Responsibility Act, the Family Reinforcement Act, the American Dream Restoration Act, the National Security Restoration Act. There's no U.S. troops under UN control in that one. The Senior Citizens Fairness Act, the Job Creation and Wage Enhancement Act, the Common Sense Legal Reform Act, and the Citizen Legislature Act. The first ever vote on term limits to replace career politicians with a citizen legislature. That is a lofty that is a lofty agenda. Huge, definitely huge. That Congress and the next one actually got a lot of that done. And they did balance the budget, as I've talked about till I'm blue in the face here. In 1998, 1999, and 2000, wasn't until we decided that we was going to have this war on terror, as Bush called it. Well, I'm sorry for those of you that you thought America was going to drop out. We're not dropping out anything. We're going to fight this war on terror. And boy, how did he do it? And we had the men's tens of thousands of men with missing limbs and eyeballs and skin on their faces to show for it. Further, we will instruct the House Budget Committee to report to the floor, and we will work to enact additional budget savings. Now, again, I think that most of this goes back to the fact that you didn't have a Speaker of the House of Representatives that ran and presented to the public a platform like this. Instead, he was just the last guy standing after McCarthy was whacked. Maybe now it may even seem like foolishly whacked. But it's interesting to look back to see, I said interesting, put $1 in the jar. It's enlightening to look back and to see what they at least tried to accomplish. And I want to say they had a second contract with America in 1996. In any event, we don't have anything remotely, there's nothing even remotely, there's nothing like this coming out of these losers that make up the Republican majority, which is primarily driving the fear that they're going to lose the House in the midterms, and it's just because they're stupid. They think that that Trump's executive orders, I guess, are going to bail them out, and that they don't really have to do much of anything to earn the public's continued trust. And I think that that's just stupid. And I try to imagine, who is it that's telling these guys how to set an agenda? I mean, these have to be some of the most stupid people in the history of stupid people. I used to have a friend, Jennifer. She's on some of the really old Mike Church Show band songs. She worked on a lot of bits with me and Jim Mosier and the Mike Church Show band in 2000, 2002, somewhere up in there. She said that her grandmother passed this one down to her, and that is, oh, bless his heart, he's so stupid his head must hurt. I never quite understood why his head hurt that he was stupid, but I've just been repeating it pretty much ever since. And I think that the people that are guiding or not guiding members of the House of Representatives are so stupid that their heads must hurt. And I think that's a pretty accurate description. On Friday after Thanksgiving, a nut job from Afghanistan who President Trump says was radicalized in the United States by Americans, decided that he was going to take out a couple of National Guardsmen. He killed a poor girl from West Virginia, and he seriously wounded another National Guardsman who were on, I guess, the continuing duty that the National Guard has undertaken to keep the works or to keep the streets safe. In any event, this, as I believe, was one of the catalysts for Trump's, what day was it that the big, long, here, I have it right here. I kept it open, Maggie, so you wouldn't have to go scrambling for it. November 27th, what day was that? That was Friday, right? Or was that, no, that was Thursday. Thanksgiving Day, you got a True Social post that began a very happy Thanksgiving salutation to all our great American citizens and patriots who have been so nice in allowing our country to be divided, disrupted, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world for being politically correct and just plain all caps stupid when it comes to immigration. So he was wishing the Biden regime and the usual suspects involved with that. We'll get into all that. There's lots of stuff to recap here today. It is a Cyber Monday. Shop in the store. Huge savings. Check your email for the savings. But head to shop.mikechurch.com.
Time and the hits they were based on. It's Album Autopsy, exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be, and doesn't disappoint your mother.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Channel News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Monday, December 1st, 2025. This report is brought to you by the new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, the best way to listen to the KingDude ever. An installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device. Go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, and then open the app. It is literally that easy. In the market report, the Dow was up at last close 0.61%, with the S&P up as well 0.54%. NASDAQ was up 0.65%. Today in National Day calendar news, it is, of course, Cyber Monday, the internet's answer to Black Friday deals. The official observance, of course, taking place the Monday after Thanksgiving. Today is Rosa Parks Day, the American civil rights hero who twice a year on February 4th and December 1st is recognized. On December 1st of 1955, after a long Thursday at work, Rosa Parks boarded a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, took her seat in the colored section, and when the bus driver asked Parks to give up her seat, she refused. It's National Eat a Red Apple Day. It's also National Pie Day and Day Without Art Day. Our quote of the day, prayer draws into the soul the Holy Spirit and raises man to heaven. Saint Ephraim. Our saint of the day is Saint Andrew. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, a.k.a. Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. Even for technophobes, like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See? It's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are. Install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
Advent blessings to all of you. Today's first day of Advent 2025. Yesterday was the Feast of St. Andrew. Today is the Feast of St. Natalia and Edmund Campion. Here on the Crusade Channel, catch them both in the podcast version of the Saints of the Day from the Slaves to the Immaculate Heart Sisters at crusadechannel.com. This portion of the program brought to you by definitely huge Cyber Monday sale going on at shop.mikechurch.com. You guys are going to shop for Christmas anyway, and you are going to buy gifts for people young and old on your list. Why not shop with us? Passed by the Founders Trading Post store. By the way, gift cards are now available. It's a digital gift card, but who cares? You can email it to whoever you want. You can choose print it out, and you can print it out as a gift. If you have a color printer, you can even print it out in color. And give the gift to the Founders Trading Post store, and any amount you want over $10. And plus and I'll tell you all about the 3-month or 1-year Founders Pass gift card memberships, which you can find at crusadechannel.com/card. So lots going on here today, here on the Monday of Advent. I was looking through some of the other stuff that the Congress had accomplished or set out to accomplish in 1994, as opposed to the shiftless, worthless Zion King. Israel first. Congress of Mike Johnson. The Job Creation and Wage Enhancement Act. Now, there was a tax cut that was passed. So that is in the big, beautiful bill, and most of it has not gone into effect. You haven't gotten a effect or cause and effect from the big, beautiful bill tax cuts. I think one of the provisions went in, but most of them are activated, especially the marginal rate tax cuts, I believe on January the 1st. In any event, small business incentives, capital gains cut and indexation, neutral cost recovery, risk assessment, cost-benefit analysis, strengthening the Regulatory Flexibility Act, and unfunded mandate reform to create jobs and raise worker wages. There's more in that paragraph than anything the Johnson losers have proposed in an entire year. Let me tell you something else the Gingrich Congress did that most people have forgotten about. Maggie, look this up. This will be a fascinating one. The Gingrich Congress, this is very controversial, by the way, passed the DOMA. How many of you people remember the DOMA? The Defense of Marriage Act. Now, this one should get some attention. The Defense of Marriage Act was passed. Clinton signed it. How do you like that? Well, I mean, I do believe in sexual relations between men and women, especially between presidential men and women. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to say that. Now, look. It's controversial primarily because Democrat governors in blue states were busy passing homo marriage acts, Massachusetts among them, which is why the Gingrich Congress acted and passed the DOMA. Now, this will, some of you will remember this. Hair Dr. Kevin Gutzman, the author of the Politically Incorrect Guide to the Constitution, and I know this is out there. I would have to probably go get a hard drive out of storage to go find it, but I know I have it. In one of the earlier interviews that I did with Gutzman on the Politically Incorrect Guide to the Constitution book that he wrote, I can't remember how it came up because it was 15 years ago, but somehow the DOMA came up. And I remember Hair Dr. Kevin Gutzman saying, well, you know, Mike, that is something that is worthy of talking about. He goes, because I do believe that the Gingrich Congress, that Speaker Gingrich and the Republicans actually got that right, and it was constitutional. And the SCOTUS comes along, and they whacked it. They nuked it. Imagine, though, that they hadn't done that. Obergefell can't happen. I mean, you just think about things that got done and then got undone by the stinking judiciary and were taken away. In any event, I just thought I would bring some of this stuff up. There's an article at American Thinker, President at Full Speed and a Congress asleep at the wheel. There's so much stuff in here. You know, I was just reading through this. The Washington Post is tracking federal appointments, reports that 823 of 1,300 Senate confirmable positions, the Senate has confirmed only 265. Well, 123 nominees still wait for Senate action. When will they be confirmed? Next year? Next decade? At the same time, 289 positions remain without a nominee, likely because no one wants to wait in a line that moves more slowly than the DMV. 165 Biden-Obama-era holdovers, Obama-Biden era holdovers remain in the administration. These officials, loyal to their former presidents, have every reason to leak, undermine, or sabotage the Trump agenda. Well, why hasn't something been done? Because the Republican Party still thinks it's the party of country clubs. Doctors and lawyers and what have you, and bankers and banksters and usurers and fraudsters. And thus it doesn't act. Folks, you get paid to do this. This stuff isn't hard. You don't know how difficult it is, Trigger. You're not in Congress. You know what? I would spend all of my days, if I were to take Steve Scalise's seat, I would spend all of my nights doing special orders, like Newt did, and I would spend all of my days filing resolutions. We have the curse of social media these days, and I would let know to anyone that wished to follow me, this is what we are doing here today. This is what a previous Congress has done. It's unconstitutional. There's no power for it in the Constitution. It needs to be undone. Here's a resolution that does it. Pretty much what Thomas Massey does, which just drives me bonkers as to why President Trump has set target on him. So, all right, we'll keep talking about it. Lots to talk about. I know that a lot of people want to talk about Lane Kiffin becoming the head coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers. This is an outrage. It's an abomination. $90 million the university doesn't have. For those of you that actually deal in facts, I actually looked this up on your behalf. Now, this is not my endorsement of this. I'm just telling you that this is what the athletic department says. 2024 revenue. This is actually shocking to me. Louisiana State University Athletic Department in 2024 took in $265.3 million in revenue, donations, and alumni contributions.
That's insane.
Let me repeat that. The Louisiana State University Athletic Department reported revenue of $260. You know what? Let me click the link. Let me make sure I get the number correct because there it is. This is the Baton Rouge Advertiser newspaper. Now, if you don't think college sports are out of control, according to the University Athletic Department annual NCAA financial report, which the Daily Advertiser, the USA Today Network obtained via an open records request, LSU pulled in $1.7 million in total revenue for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, and then it gives the dates. For the first time since fiscal year 2022, LSU increased its reported revenue from the previous year. LSU saw a nearly $400,000 uptick in generated revenue from $1.365 million to $1.735 million. Per the report, LSU made, now here it is, across all sports, $281,227. How much was that again? $220,281,227 across all sports. They spent $218.5 million, and there's the $1.75 million revenue bonus or whatever. LSU saw a staggering jump in contributions to athletics, a more than $21 million increase in donations, mostly coming from non-program specific reported numbers, with a $20 million increase. Contributions to the LSU women's basketball program was the only specific report or sport listed that saw a noticeable increase on contributions, up almost $500,000 from 2023 to 2024. Well, they won a national championship. That'll happen. The athletic department's biggest expense were coaches' salaries. Shaka. Not a shaka. And bonuses, as well as support staff and administrative compensation at $38,796,887. In fiscal year 2023-2024, LSU operated at more than $200 million in expenses for the first time. Now, I am on record. By the way, here's the number everyone wants to know. While LSU football saw a slight dip in revenue from 2023 to 2024, the program still raked in more than $52 million. Money from media rights deals to individual game contracts, as well as Southeastern Conference and conference distributions from bowl games, both went up for LSU. And then, of course, they get a share of the TV revenue. Now, when you start totaling all this stuff up, and I don't believe Louisiana State University is unique. I will wager you that University of Alabama has similar numbers. So before you all start jawboning on, that's what's wrong with crooked Louisiana. Well, I'll bet you that the University of Florida and Florida State and Convict U in Miami all have similar numbers. And we'll bet you that your beloved Texas A&M has similar numbers, maybe even greater numbers. I will bet you that the University of Texas, University of Oklahoma, name your big college football program, the Ohio State, all have similar numbers. This is why I have been talking lately about, well, remember the old adage, he needs to marry her and make an honest woman out of her. The NFL just needs to marry NCAA Division I football and make honest women out of them. You could, for example, say that LSU is the AAA Farm League team for the New Orleans Football Saints. You could say that the University of Louisiana, ULL, at Lafayette, the Ragin' Cajuns, are the AA team. Texas the same way. You could say that for the Houston, we're the Houston Oilers. I know it's the Texans now. That the Houston Texans Farm League team is A&M. You could say that the Dallas Cowboys Farm League team is the University of Texas. You could say that the Houston AA team is Baylor. You could say that the Cowboys AA team is SMU. I think that they should just do it and get it over with. Leave the Division II schools as amateurs. So if you want to get into the majors, you work hard to get into a AAA farm team school. And that way all this stuff is above board. Because I have to tell you, Maggie and I were watching the pregame for the Saints-Dolphins yesterday. And again, I spit liquids across rooms. I'm so shocked when I see Kurt Menefee walk over to the virtual screen and point up to the FanDuel play or game of the day. No, it was the FanDuel play of the day. Which parlay and what the odds were on it. And I'm like, you're teaching an entire generation of children now, of young people like Addison, our nephew. You're teaching them that gambling is a part of sports. So, you can't miss that. You cannot watch.
Well, then you have to say player number one.
Oh, yeah. She's talking about Alontae Taylor. If you watched the Saints-Dolphins game yesterday, in the first quarter, there was a play that Achanta, or whatever the hell his name is, the Dolphins running back, scored a touchdown on. And Saints player number one, I'm going to identify you by name because I think that you're cheating. I cannot believe that I'm the only Saints fan that saw the play. Alontae Taylor ran at, his name is D-E-apostrophe-V-O-N, right? Devon Ashant, or Ashante, however you pronounce it, Ashant. Alontae Taylor ran towards, on an end around, the Dolphins running back, and didn't even attempt a tackle, although he was in perfect position to make one. And I screamed at the television and said, he bet opening drive touchdown Miami. That's a bet. You can make it. It's so disconcerting. It's infuriating, actually, when you think about it. Some other stuff that we'll talk about during the course of the program on Advent Day number 1. President Trump sent 2 additional True Social posts out. I have one that's open here. I started reading it to you. And there's another one that went out where he cited U.S. Code. Make sure I get this right. Immigration and Nationality Act, Section 212F. Okay, quote. Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interest of the United States, he may, by proclamation, and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. And so in a follow-up True Social post, or from his official account, he followed it up with basically saying, I signed an executive order saying that we're cut off. No one's coming in here. No one from the third world. If it's a third world country, they're not coming in. And we are also now going to execute the policy to start removing those who are already here. Then he put this out. A very happy Thanksgiving salutation to all of our great American citizens and patriots who have been so nice in allowing our country to be divided, disrupted, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world for being politically correct and just plain stupid when it comes to immigration. The official United States foreign population stands at 53 million people. That is a staggering number. How many? 53 million people. No country can survive a wave. That's an invasion force. That is almost a quarter of the total population. Let's say you round the total population off at 330 million. So 50 million is 50% of one. That's a quarter. Yeah, divided again. What is that? 16%? 16% of the population shouldn't be here. 53 million. Most of which are on welfare from failed nations or from prisons, mental institution, gangs, or drug cartels. They and their children are supported through massive payments from patriotic American citizens who, because of their beautiful hearts, do not want to openly complain or cause trouble in any way, shape, or form. They put up with what has happened to our country, but it's eating them alive to do so. A migrant earning $30,000 with a green card will get roughly $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family. Let me repeat that. A migrant earning $30,000 a year with a green card will get roughly $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family.
Where can I get some of that?
Boy, can you imagine the gift sets we could sell in the Founders Trading Post store if we just all had a little access to that? Can I get paid? The real migrant population is much higher. This refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America, something that did not exist after World War II. And then he says failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, and large deficits, etc. As an example, hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Somalian gangs are roving the streets looking for prey, as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope that they will be left alone. The seriously retarded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, that's Tampon Tim to the uninitiated, does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst congressman woman in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in her swaddling hijab, and who probably came into the USA illegally, and that you're not allowed to marry your brother, does nothing but hatefully complain about our country, its constitution, and how badly she is treated, when her place of origin is a decadent, backward, and crime-riddled nation, which is essentially not even a country for lack of government, military, police, schools, etc. Then he wrote this one. This is after that. Immigration Nationality Act, Section 212F, which is one I just shared with you. So it kind of says, guess what? I can actually stop all of you and your buddies and your family. And there was another one he put out, and he goes, I'm stopping all of it. You're not coming in. I don't care if you're here already. You're not bringing a damn family member in. It's not going to happen. I think that if you were getting any cooperation from the stupid party in Congress. The American people, by and large, want this to happen.
Now we just talk about making hit records. Well, parody versions of hit records.
Join the KingDude and Jim Mosier as they pick apart the greatest parody songs of all time and the hits they were based on. It's Album Autopsy, exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be, and doesn't disappoint your mother.
Hey, Jim, remember when we used to be like Joe Walsh?
I'm making records, my fans, they can't wait.
Now we just talk about making hit records. Well, parody versions of hit records.
Join the KingDude and Jim Mosier as they pick apart the greatest parody songs of all time and the hits they were based on. It's Album Autopsy, exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be, and doesn't disappoint your mother.
Hey folks, it's Mike Church, producer of the Shakespeare Radio Film Festival, announcing that we're offering the entire festival, including Joseph Pierce's commentaries, for just $19.95. That's a 50% discount. This exclusive download will include over 16 hours of festival content. To reserve your Shakespeare Radio Film Festival download at an incredible 50% off, go to crusadechannel.com/Hamlet.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Capuchin Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Hey, Lee, you know, we've known each other for a bit now. I just wonder, what do you really love to do?
I love posting civilization-saving threads on X.com, but I get so tired of outrage porn scrolling my medulla has gone oblong blanca.
Well, I know just the thing. Pour an iced Capuchin Holy Roast coffee, put your earbuds in, and catch 2 hours of suspense. The greatest of all mystery, horror, and whodunit classic radio serials.
Perfect. While you were talking, I completely forgot who Jack Posobiec was.
Catch all 900 plus episodes of Suspense every weekday from noon to 2 p.m. East on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and classic radio
the way it should be.
Back in the 90s, there was this thing called the cigar boom, where everyone was buying and smoking handmade cigars. But here's the thing. The popular cigars then were the best-made cigars, like Fuente, Joya de Monterrey, and Avo. Over the next 10 years, craftsmanship was replaced by gimmick and slick packaging, and that's when I decided to get in the business and launched El Rey Dude Corona cigars. 20 years later, I launched Manchipio Maria cigars with that same principle in mind. Make a great handmade cigar, and that's exactly what we do in 4 sizes. I invite you you to try a 4-pack sampler of my Manchipia Maria cigars and taste them for yourself in smooth, natural, or bold Maduro wrappers. And to sweeten the deal, I've discounted them 25% for a limited time. And as always, we include a personal humidifier with every order. To order, go to shop.mikechurch.com. Order $50 or more and shipping is on me. Try my Manchipia Maria cigars today at shop.mikechurch.com.
It's the WWE and the UFC for live talk radio Thursday Night Throwdown, hosted by you. Win a seat at the table, win the throwdown, and then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio, the way it should be.
Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the KingDude seasoning trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the KingDude offers you his personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a KingDude seasoning trilogy today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim. Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See, it's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your 2 oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read.
The story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivering, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
Bear Wozniak's 12 Rules for Manliness. Where have all the cowboys gone?
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app.
Hey, Jim, remember when we used to be like Joe Walsh?
I'm making records, my fans, they can't wait.
Now we just talk about making hit records. Well, parody versions of hit records.
Join the KingDude and Jim Mosier as they pick apart the greatest parody songs of all time and the hits they were based on. It's Album Autopsy, exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be, and doesn't disappoint your mother.
Brother Mike Church presents Flashback. Sinful things that were happening 20 years ago. Jurassic Park, the remake of Godzilla, and the beginning of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Are either of you, homosexuals? You mean like flaming, or?
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
Let's hope and pray no one will ever confess those sins again. The Mike Church Show, preaching and teaching from his abbey, while living here in the present, on the Veritas Radio Network's Crusade.
Shake up the picture, raise a mixture with the dims on the eventide. You got me coming with answers all of which I deny. I said it again, but could I please rephrase it? Maybe I can catch you right. I couldn't really put it much plainer, but I'll wait till you decide. Send me your warning siren, as if I could ever hide.
Performing this show with 100% of my Christmas spirit, Advent spirit tied behind my back just to make it fair. America's morning show, talk radio the way it ought to be delivered here for all of you kiddies out there that don't know what it is. This is it. Here on the Crusade channel, the Mike Church Show, 10 years and what are we at? 13 days, right? 10 years and 13 days today. The Crusade channel, live talk and podcast radio the way it should be. Thanks to all of you who made that possible, because without you, your contributions, your memberships, your suggestions, your constant prayer, none of this that wouldn't have happened. So thank you very much. We're all in your debt. I'm like William Shatner on starting the Wrath of God. I did nothing, mister. But if you'd like to see it continue, and I noticed that there was a significant little bump, and uh-oh, that's an actual dog who just crossed the front door. Buckshot alert. Buckshot alert. Bag incoming. Go to DEFCON 2. DEFCON 1 would be if the dog was in the house. He's cute, ain't he? He actually doesn't have any Mississippi leg hound in him. Where was I until Buckshot so rudely interrupted me? Yeah, I lost my train of thought about... I really did. I lost my train of thought. In any event, the donations. CrusadeChannel.com/donate still works. I'm going to change the and put a December fundraiser in there. So thanks to so many of you who continue to contribute. I want you to shop in the store, though. Seriously. If the store could be promoted out to a couple thousand other people, I think it would alleviate a lot of the fundraising stress, and we could just sell a lot more volume and content through the store. I mean, we carry things that people use every day, like spices and coffees. So give it a try. They're great Cyber Monday deals. Ashley sent an email out this morning from the Founders Trading Post store. It has all of them in there. Massive 80 and 90% discount, 75%, 60%, 50%, depending on what the item is. Shop with us today at shop.mikechurch.com. And don't forget the gift cards. You can give a Founders Trading Post gift card in any amount you want to anyone you want that has an email. You know what? They don't even need an email address. Actually, you could use yours, print the card out with the code on it, and then just hand them the piece of paper. So thanks you very much in advance for shopping in the store. All right, let's do some digital media files here in hour 2. Start with... Did he actually say... I didn't see this. Digital media file number 1. I think this is a fair question. Is it the government of the people of the state of Minnesota's desire? Or is it the people of the state of Minnesota's desire? That they wish to not be Minnesotans anymore, and they want to be Somalians instead. And if that's what you want to be, well, then I think you should leave the Union. I think you should form your own little stupid banana republic and have at it, bro. And I'm not joking. I'm not trying to get a secede started, but I'm happy to do it. We believe in the theory and the power. We believe in untrammeled, unregulated immigration. So you don't believe that there's anything culturally worth preserving in your state. Here's the stupid governor of Minnesota.
Dozens of people of East African descent have been charged, convicted, and sentenced for stealing more than $1 billion in taxpayer money from government programs during COVID. As you know, Governor, that is more than Minnesota spends each year to run its Department of Corrections. So I want to give you a chance to respond to this. Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail. Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. And I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals. Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can. But to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few, it's lazy.
I want to know what he said after that. Is there another? Is that it? All right. We have got to find a way to get our to aggregate our own sound bites. I can't stand it when people do that. We know why they do it, because you only get a 60-second play.
You need 5 other producers.
We need Megyn Kelly's 5 other producers. Yes, I know. We need 1,000 new subscribers, which we're going to get through gift cards this Christmas. We're going to do it. $1 billion. Okay, to recap, the state of Minnesota has lost $1 billion in fraud. You know, there is a contingent of Minnesota lawmakers that are axing do nothing Attorney General Pam Bondi, who I still cannot believe she's still there. Do nothing Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate this. A lot of this money was federal money. Do you know that this is literally the reason why the Federal Bureau of Investigations was started? Was to police things like this. This is where you would actually use the actual FBI to investigate an actual theft or crime against the government and thus the people of the United States. That is what it is actually there to do. And then, of course, you know, it's noon. Has anyone been arrested and what have you? This... The never ending. It's going to. You know, I can't say never ending. It has ended. It's over. President Trump put an end to it. Of course, they're going to run off to a court today, and some judge is going to slap an injunction on the executive order. Is going to say, no, the United States has to admit any Somali that wants to come in. I want people to understand when that happens today, just how infuriating that should be. This is what Senator Amy Imbecilicar said. You talk about being as dumb as a box of hammers. You talk about being so stupid that your head must hurt. I can imagine the gray matter in that thick skull of hers just pushing against the bone, going like, I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. But a state that has politicians of this caliber, do we really need them in the union anymore? I'm sorry, Mike Lindell, I love you. Can you move your factory to Wisconsin?
Does Minnesota have a problem with gangs roaming the streets?
Every state has a problem with crime. But what the president has done here is taken a horrific crime that occurred in Washington, D.C., where one beloved Guard member is still struggling for his life. Another was shot and killed. And the perpetrator, the murderer, is behind bars and being prosecuted. He took that case and then he went 2,400 miles away to Somalia and somehow indicted an entire group of people, 80,000 of them in my state, as well as later all naturalized citizens, 24 million people in the United States of America. This is what he does, and he tries to stoke division and make people hate each other.
I'm pretty sure that most immigrants already hate me. I've ridden in enough cabs, ridden and driven by the most rude assortment of stinky, smelly foreigners that I ever care to remember, ma'am. I'm pretty sure that foreigners that come to the United States with the, it seems to me like nearly with the intention, because they've heard it back home, that all they got to do is get here, and then the inconvenience store small business administration cash just flows into their bank accounts like the wine and salmon of Capistrano. That is not someone that loves America and the United States and wants to be a part of the culture and of the citizenry and of the history and tradition of the United States. There is a thread on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure, Maggie, you're going to go like, it's not on your Twitter feed. I looked. I'm pretty sure that it is. I think I had a reply on it. I believe it's a reply because I couldn't actually. It's there. You can see it. Third one down on replies. This is some woman named Lozzie B. or some AI bot. I don't care, actually. With a compendium, if you will, of news headlines gathered from media across the amber waves of Somalian invaders. I'm sorry, across the burnt umber waves of Somalian invaders. There's no music or anything to it.
Okay, so I'll just play it on the side.
Yeah, you can just play it on the side. I'm going to go through the first. It's got some stupid. Right, I have to mute it. Hold on. I'm just going to go through my version of it as you go through yours. Headline from the Harvard Review: Abolish the white race. Now, this is what primarily immigrant colored populations think about me. And look, I'm olive-skinned. I'm not even from, what did Cat Williams say? He's so white, he's from the Caucasus. He's from the Isle of Caucasus, he's so white. I'm not even Cat Williams white. I'm like Italian, Spanish white. Does that count? The goal of abolishing the white race is on its face so desirable that some may find it hard to believe that it could incur any opposition other than from committed white supremacists. So kill all the white people, and anyone that disagrees is a white supremacist. From the Harvard magazine. Let's go to the next slide. USC professor calls for a Holocaust against all white people. Charles H.F. Davis, a self-described black identity extremist, says whiteness must be by any and all means destroyed. But we white supremacists, white nationalist wackos are the problem. And we're the ones that don't want to try and get along with anyone else. Okay, God. You're just isolating a couple of cherry pick. Okay, all right. Hold that thought. Just sit down in that chair right there and let me show you how it's done, Elrod. Next slide. Professor behind white genocide tweet says he has university support. Don't know what university that is. Next slide. This is from the Washington Compost, November the 17th. Rutgers lecturer tweeted about shooting white people by Deborah Hawkins. Noticing a trend? Next slide. Rutgers professor on white people. We got to take these well, let me give it to you in context. We got to take these motherfuckers out. Citing the need for honest conversations, a controversial Rutgers professor declared in a recent interview that white people are committed to being villains and we got to take these motherfuckers out. Close quote. Next slide. Washington Times newspaper, Johnny Eric Williams, Trinity College professor, Whiteness is terrorism. This is Monday, April the 29th, 2019, the year of our Lord and Savior, Anno Domini, 2019. Spokeswoman says comment made in the context of his academic scholarship. I don't care. I don't care. If I made that comment, let's change a couple of words. Right? Life and career and vocation ruined. So should yours. Although I think it's just better that if you hate us so much, this is what I think is afoot here. It's an attempt. Because let me tell you what's going to happen. You know what happens when you anger enough white people? And then you really literally start trying to deprive them or take from them what it is that they believe is theirs and their right to acquire more. See Germany, 1915s. See Germany, 1930s through the early 1940s. See Russia, Velvet Revolution, et cetera, et cetera. You know what happens when they get backed into a corner? They start wars. They start wars because you're threatening them. Next slide. University works to reduce number of white people on campus. Well, maybe we should work to reduce the number of white people responsible for paying for said campus. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo recently released a 30-page report outlining plans to improve diversity by reducing the number of white people on campus. In 2011, the campus was 63% Caucasian. In fall of 2017, it was less than 55%, but there is still much work to do. So now it's work getting rid of white people. Look, I'm only bringing this up because it hasn't stopped. Next slide. I'm only 26 seconds in. Texas A&M University, Kaiser, Mike Parrott. Oh, what a wonderful university this must be. When is it okay to kill whites? Asked Texas A&M philosophy professor Tommy Curry. This is a Rod Dreher post from May of, is that 2020? 2017. Next slide. What a wonderful university Georgia must be these days. Headline, University of Georgia, TA, okay, that's teacher assistant, I thought so, who said, quote, white people might have to die, close quote, did not violate code of conduct. This is Alana Mastrangelo in May of 2019. Next slide. This is the Washington Times. Quote, white supremacy, close quote, causes black citizens to commit anti-Asian hate crimes. Colorado professor claims. A critical race studies and ethnic studies professor at the University of Colorado Boulder says Americans wondering why black citizens commit anti-Asian hate crimes have an answer. White supremacy. Boy, that's a great one. You know, I tell you.
It's mind control.
Tell you what, bro. Let me tell y'all something. Yo. Let me tell you something. You know why I dusted that slant? Let me tell y'all something. The white supremacists made me do it, yo. Oh, okay. Can't wait to see that one defended in court. I'm only going to go to 1 minute. It's 6 minutes long. Next slide. Americans who practice yoga, quote, contribute to white supremacy, close quote, claims Michigan State University professor. This is from 2018. Religious studies professor Sheena Gandhi. There's an American name if I ever heard one. Sheena Gandhi argues the practice has flourished in the U.S. from the cultural void of white society. Next slide, please. I never thought of yoga. University of Kansas. This one is 2022. University of Kansas offers angry white male studies class. Can I take it? I actually want to take this one. University of Kansas class will examine what the angry white male is upset about. Headlines like this. Can we start there? All right, next headline. Baltimore professor, : white people need to personally give all their money to black people. Pretty sure I'm already on the hook for most of what I've earned. See federal and state income tax scales. I think you have accomplished most of that mission, ma'am. Next slide. This is Todd Starnes, May 23rd, 2022. University of South Carolina bans whites from applying for job. Well, we'll move on to the next one. Headline. Professor, white people are conditioned to commit mass murder. This is by Catherine Timpf. June 30th, 2015. Now, isn't Kat Timpf? She's on with Gutfeld on Fox News, isn't she? Kat Timpf. Well, I'm sure she's quoting this guy. Next slide. Headline. Rutgers clears professor who said he, quote, hates white people, close quote. This is Hannah Adley at North Jersey News. This is from November of 2018. So it's okay to say you hate white people and keep your professorship. I wonder what that does to the young white people that are in your class. Asking for a friend. Next headline. We're finally at the 1 minute mark. College professor, believing in hard work is white ideology.
You just called all black people lazy.
And what are you doing? Good grief, man. This isn't Office Space the movie. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to send the KingDude a donation through the stupid computer.
Like Trump, the KingDude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the KingDude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Sister Maria Filomena with your Saint of the Day. December 1st, Saint Natalie died in the year 311. She was a courageous woman from Nicomedia who took great care of the martyrs there during the persecution of Diocletian. She bore witness to their sufferings with a courage so generous it lent each of them the courage they needed to remain faithful until the end. 1 year prior to this decisive moment of her life, St. Natalia was married to Adrian, the head of the Praetorium during the time of Emperor Maximian. who was co-emperor with Diocletian. She had kept her Christian faith a secret, as the emperor had promised a reward to whomever would inform on the Christians to bring them to trial. Saint Adrian appeared to her soon afterwards in a dream, telling her that she would soon be at rest in the Lord, which happened just as he had predicted. He went to Douai in France and later to Rome, where he entered the Society of Jesus. He returned to England and made an effort to win all Protestants back to the Catholic faith. He was seized and arrested and brought to the Tower of London. The Queen came to see him. She tried to persuade him to give up his strong stand for the Catholic Church. She made offers to him of every liberty and honor if he would forsake the Catholic faith. Edmund Campion refused. He was hanged, drawn, and quartered on the first day of December. He has been one of the glories of the Society of Jesus ever since. Saint Natalia, Saint Edmund Campion, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the lives of today's saints. Tomorrow's saint is Saint Bibiana. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters in the building of our convent by visiting stphilomena.convent.org. I'm Sister Maria Filomena, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
Do you hear that, Maggie?
Do I hear what?
You don't hear the sound of bees buzzing about?
No, I see the result of that buzzing about and these beautiful new beeswax candles.
We sell candles now?
Not just any candles. These are handmade beeswax candles.
Well, that explains me imagining bees.
And they come in different sizes. There's a votive, a 3-day, and a 7-day size too.
Well, that should start a buzz in the store.
It better, or you'll get the buzz.
Order handmade beeswax candles today while supplies last at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, aka Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, even for technophobes like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See? It's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
What's the difference between your average day late dollar short podcast and the Mike Church Show live? About the same as between the new Walker, Texas Homo and Walt Longmire.
Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? We all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad.
No, Paul, there's just whitey. No, not white people.
Learn to live. We learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive. Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony.
You know, it is difficult to fathom that people responded so positively, favorably to this track. This for you kids out there who don't know good music. This is Paul McCartney and Maggie's favorite artist, Stevie Wonder. One of her favorites. That song is called Ebony and Ivory, if you never heard it before. And it was a Maggot TV smash hit back in, what, 84, 83, somewhere up in there. Hard to believe that the same country that is now accused 40 years later of nonstop systemic institutional suppression of blacks in that year, do you know what year it was? Ebony and Ivory? I'm just curious now. Would have seen, this will be a fascinating thing to cover. Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller, came out. I'm trying to remember where I was. I was in... So it's 82. I think it's the same year. I think Thriller came out in 82. Spring or winter of 82. Hard to believe that at that time that the Thriller album would vault to #1, whenever it did come out. Would produce 3 #1 hit singles: Billie Jean, Beat It, and Thriller. Another top 40 hit, PYT. And that people were wearing, white people were wearing Michael Jackson jackets. I saw a white guy the other day had a Michael Jackson. Oh, a white woman had, remember the jacket from Thriller, the red jacket? Remember we saw it and I went, that's a Michael Jackson jacket. But it was blue. Hard to believe. Now you got to think, this is 43 years ago. Well, how is it possible, Professor, that all of these things that could have possibly have happened while there were white people around? Why did white people learn the Thriller line dance? I still see people do it today. Why did white people, and I only bring this up because there's obviously an effort here by certain individuals to try and look, the woman that posted the tweet, or the bot, whoever it is, posted the tweet because there was a new statistic that came out and said that violent hate crimes committed against white people are up like 1,000% in the last year. Here is the story, the tragic story of Irina Zarutska, a young white Ukrainian immigrant who was murdered on a commuter train in Charlotte. These are just the famous ones. There's a bunch of them out there. There is now the setting on fire of a white girl who we now know her name. I forget it, but we did it on Wednesday's show. Who was set on fire by a deranged 72-time recidivist. 72-time recidivist. And she was set on fire by a black man who targeted her because she was a white girl. This while you have the Democrat Party and faking the faux intelligentsia out there, intimating that it is okay. This is to correct historic, to correct historic discriminations and suppressions. Oh, you mean like allowing the album Thriller to go to #1? You mean like allowing Paul McCartney, white guy, to sit down with Stevie Wonder and make that record that I just played for you? That was a #1, by the way. Who's responsible for the regression? Why are there more black people angry at white people today than there were in the 1980s? Because they're being told to be angry. They are being rewarded for being angry. This is, okay, let's do some more digital media files. What of the seditious six? Did you see Trump's post about, apparently Mark Kelly won't shut up. Captain Kelly, you should take some advice from people that are giving it to you and shut up. Unless you want to be court-martialed. Because apparently because he won't shut up. President Trump tweeted something out that I'm scrolling through his feed here. There's so much that he has put out just in the last day. Already read that one to you. Now, of course, because I didn't actually print it out, and I'm not going to be able to find it. It's here. It's here somewhere. Where? Here it is. I guarantee you, this is to Alyssa Slotkin and Mark Kelly and Sedition 6. There are laws that impact our nation. Read Title 18, Chapter 115, subsection 2387. Quote, whenever with the intent to interfere, impair, influence the loyalty, moral or discipline of the military and naval forces, blah, 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 to be fined or imprisoned up to 10 years, close quote. Commander Kirk Lippold, United States Navy, retired. This gentleman retweeted this to the president. This is right on point. Do what has to be done, Commander-in-Chief. So here is a flashback to last month. Here is Senator Alyssa Stupid at the Brookings Institute predicting an incident with the National Guard. Now, I asked my friend, who is a careerist in this man's army, I asked my friend on Friday when this happened, I said, is this phase 2 of don't let the ship go down? No, don't give up the ship. Is this phase 2 of don't give up the ship? At first, he wrote me back and he goes, no, I don't think so. Then he scratched it out and he goes, yeah, I think that it is actually. Well, Slotkin actually predicted this last month. Coincidence?
As a CIA officer, the idea that intelligence officers could be asked to target Americans turns my stomach, and it would shift us into a modern-day surveillance state. Turning the federal government against Trump's enemies goes hand in hand with his use of force in American cities, both federal law enforcement and the military. As of today, the president has attempted to deploy more than 7,000 National Guard members across 5 cities, including right here in Washington. In August, the administration ordered the creation of 2 new National Guard units, a standing quick reaction force that can deploy anywhere in the country, and then separately, National Guard units in all 50 states focused on quelling so-called civil disturbances.
So?
At this point, Trump has been very clear about his intent. At Quantico, speaking as commander-in-chief, he instructed his military brass to use cities as, quote, training grounds. And many times, he's floated the idea of invoking the Insurrection Act so that military units can raid, detain, and arrest Americans. The president has already deployed ICE and other federal law enforcement to these same cities across America. In some cases, these federal officers are playing fast and loose with their tactics, which sooner or later could lead to a deadly escalation. The videos out of Chicago are shocking. Federal agents pulling their weapons on highways, firing tear gas into neighborhoods right before a Halloween parade, injuring and even killing civilians. Many are masked, not wearing uniforms, and driving unmarked cars. For those of us who served abroad, it feels like another country. And it's only a matter of time before things get worse. By my estimation, we're about 2 weeks away from a bloody incident.
Where is this dystopian hell she's talking about?
And this is just the kind of incident that Trump wants to justify more force coming in.
You know, while you were delivering that speech, he was probably standing over a 10-foot par putt at Doral, if memory serves. Who was killed? This witch just said that ICE agents have shot, maimed, and killed American citizens. Name one. One. I'm telling you right now, and I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. She's running for president in 2028. This is the bluster of a bimbette who wants power. Oh, so desperately. You know, and then you have to paint this dystopian scenario here where all of these dark people, right? All of these people that they just don't look at that guys, and he's using cities for training forces. Fake cities have always been used as training grounds. Stupid. You were in the CIA. You of all people that are so that are so imbecilic. You should actually know this. You set up urban environments so that when you go into the urban environment, heaven forfend it should ever be a domestic one, you don't kill people who are innocent civvies. You do it so that you don't. So you have training, so you have experience. He actually went to Quantico and he said, we're going to train you to go into American cities and kill. No, we didn't. A guy went to an ICE HQ in Dallas with the intention of murdering ICE agents. And he didn't care which ones they were. He didn't care whether or not they had masks on a month ago. And you know why they have masks on? Because they're being doxxed. And if they get doxxed, their families are going to be murdered or attempted murdered by lunatics that follow people like you. Unbelievable. Then, of course, you know, you have Captain Mutiny on the Bounty, Mark Kelly. Why, we can't have, we're not pausing immigration. Third world citizens have a right to come into our country when they're starving. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do I have a right, if I'm missing a meal, do I have a right to go into their country? Do they have to put me up? Do they have to feed me? Ladies and gentlemen, this has to stop. This has to be brought to an end. I'm not telling most people something that they don't know. As I said earlier, that statement that I read from you from the president earlier, most people, 90 to 95% of sane individuals in these United States agree. If we're going to have a union, then you have to have a way to protect it. And if you're going to have a union of states, then the states have to have a methodology by which they can protect themselves from foreign invasion and from the dilution of their own culture. You know what? I think that everyone should take up this Advent. We need some prayer warrior to lead this. All right, Resnick, you're nominated. You're voluntold. I know. He knows I'm messing with him. I really think that we need rosaries, not for reparation, rosaries for strength. You need rosaries to bring strong Catholic men together to start publicly agitating for and living as strong Catholic men of new Christendom. This is the future. Even Megyn Kelly can see that. She invites the alpha male, Jack Posobiec, on her show to read the St. Michael prayer and to get handed a rosary. And by the way, you guys in the chat room are absolutely correct. The cartels go into American cities and they murder with impunity. All right, digital media file number 4. You know, I'm only playing one clip from this traitor. We are a country that's always welcomed individuals that are struggling. I think we welcomed individuals who wanted a struggle that produced a better outcome than their struggle from whence they came. In other words, they were actually producers. And they weren't being rewarded as they had heard they would be rewarding for producing pretty much the same things in what they called the New World. Senator. That's a far cry from what you're talking about. We are not the world's dumping ground for. Play the clip. I'm only doing. You have three Kelly clips. I'm not listening to this traitor outside of this one.
When I heard the secretary say that they're going to pause immigration from third world countries, I mean, I take that as a message that they don't want brown people coming to the United States. And I find that disturbing.
I don't care what color they are.
We are a country that has always welcomed individuals that are struggling, that are fleeing famine and violence.
Okay, stop the tape.
And it would be.
Why didn't you subdivide that by we are a country that's always welcomed people that are fleeing violence, famine, and what have you here? Well, we have always welcomed only brown people. As a country, we have always welcomed brown people. Well, that's not true. The Irish that came over here, last I checked, were pretty pasty white. The Italians, the Guineas, the Dagos, whatever you want to call them, a little olive complected. Roll the tape.
A fundamental change to the fabric of our nation to change that. When I.
Well, then you adopt them. You and Gabby open up your own home, raise yourself some charity money, and see if you can get the United States to issue visas in your name. And by the way, are we welcoming white people who are starving and who are having their land taken from them illegally and by force, and whose family members are being murdered in the streets and murdered in their homes while they sleep from South Africa? You know, the President of the United States, you traitorous goon, is not going to a conference called the G20 in Johannesburg because he said he won't go. He is not going to a country that is practicing white apartheid now. You know, it really just makes you want to despise people. It really just, you got to be careful what you listen to with these people. You can't MAGA without Moroccans. The American people have had it. We have had it. We're done. We are finished. We're beyond finished. With immigration, pull the drawbridge up. Why do you think James Fishback is running for? Keep an eye on this. By the way, if you missed my interview with James Fishback, it was very good. He and I know most of you were out on a holiday and you were partying, putting headbands on, listening to your Beatle albums or what have you on last Wednesday. So all of you missed it. There are like 11 of you that were listening on Wednesday. 13. It's a good interview, and he's a smart guy. This guy is not just some cliche name dropper that they put on CNBC, and he started getting a follower. No, he's a smart dude. I didn't give him any of the questions in advance, and I asked him questions that he has not been talking about, and he answered them very well. As a matter of fact, he's schooled. His historical knowledge was great on President Reagan. He knew all about Speaker Gingrich and the Contract for America. I think this guy's going to be a candidate. To me, he's Deborah Medina for Florida, and that's not a knock. I don't have anything against Byron Dawes. I like Byron. I almost met him at the TPUSA event last December. Speaking of, Maggie and I talked about this. We announced that we were going to the TPUSA America Fest 2 weeks ago. We asked for volunteers or anyone it's in Phoenix at the Phoenix Convention Center. This is a massive, massive manpower undertaking. You cannot imagine what it takes to successfully work a convention floor. So, it can't be done. I just can't go there and broadcast. You're not going to get anything out of it. It's not worth the expense. So if we can't raise volunteers, people that are like, what KingDude, I'll go. Or I live nearby, or hell, I'll take the road trip. It's December the 18th, 19th, and 20th, although for us, it'll be primarily the 18th and the 19th. You can get out of there on the 20th. At the Phoenix Convention Center. It's the Turning Point USA America Fest. Now, I had the slot. We're going to put the volunteer team and the away team together, or you just can't physically put the energy into it and do it. So My email address, KingDude@MikeChurch.com. Maggie's, you have hers. You can chat with her in the chat room, anywhere else. Say, hey, I'm in. I take the job, Rush. Well, you can do that. We got an hour left to go, folks. I'm just getting started.
Monday's coming or cheeseburgers in paradise, but you will hear the most brutally honest Catholic-inspired commentary on Parrot Talk. Weekdays.
Oh, this Boats, Beaches, Bars, and Ballads fan sees what you did there.
Weekdays at 2 Central on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Thousands of years ago, if you owned a book, you had to haul it home in a wagon, and you'd need your 2 oldest sons to carry it into the house. Then you'd need one family member who could read
The Story of Beowulf.
Another to hold the candle.
Hold it steady.
And another to turn the pages.
Not that close, you'll catch it on fire.
The good news for you is that was then and this is now. And now you have the Founders Trading Post store, where ordering, delivery, and reading your favorite books is literally a snap. Here's what's new this month.
The Transhumanist Temptation, How Technology and Ideology Are Reshaping Humanity and How to Resist by Grayson Quay.
This title and many other new releases are available alongside classics and favorites 24/7 at shopmikechurch.com. You can also shop using your app. Download and shop today at shopmikechurch.com/app. You're listening to the Crusade Channel, a Black Hat Studios media property, broadcasting live 24/7 from Madisonville, Louisiana, and to the world via CrusadeChannel.com. Crusade Channel News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different, like a symphony of facts.
And now, from the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Janet Huxley.
Hello, Crusaders. Welcome to Monday, December 1st, 2025. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Channel News Desk, live from the Dothan Farm and Ranch, south of Kansas City, Missouri. Today's newscast brought to you by the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, the best way to listen to the KingDude ever. And installations are so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, and then open the app. It's literally that easy. Here's what to listen for this hour. Secretary of the Navy says drug cartels are launching attack on this country. Watchdog group hits Leticia James with bar complaint after federal judge tosses case. Minnesota government workers blame Walls for massive fraud. And elderly British baronet offers $66,000 a year for a good breeder. America is under attack by drug cartels, according to Secretary of the Navy John Fillon, and the U.S. military's Operation Southern Spear aims to defend the country from the flood of narcotics. Drugs kill more Americans than we've ever lost in wars. So I think at the end of the day, the president has correctly identified this as an attack on the country, which it is, Fellon said on My View with Laura Trump Saturday night. He described the firepower behind Operation Southern Spear, which includes the USS General R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, which has 9 carrier air wings, so over 70 aircraft. And then there are 11 ships there as well. And there's also the Marines, he said. Meanwhile, President Trump gave Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro a chance to escape the country with his life, but he had to do it immediately, according to a bombshell report. During a call between Trump and Maduro last week, the South American dictator demanded he be allowed to maintain control of the military and wanted global amnesty for all crimes. Trump's response was reportedly blunt. A conservative-aligned watchdog group has filed a bar complaint accusing New York Attorney General Leticia James of professional misconduct tied to her Norfolk, Virginia mortgage, allegations that were also at the center of her recently dismissed federal charges. More than 400 employees of the Minnesota Department of Human Services accused Governor Tim Walz of failing to act on widespread fraud warnings and retaliating against whistleblowers. The Minnesota Department of Human Service employees account wrote on X that Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. Our quote of the day, prayer draws into the soul the Holy Spirit and raises man to heaven, St. Ephraim. And coming up, looking at headlines from the entertainment world today. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Our saint of the day is Saint Andrew, and you can learn all about him in today's Saint of the Day podcast at crusadechannel.com. Looking at headlines from the entertainment and health world today, a new study published in the Journal of Lipid Research suggests that soybean oil, the most widely consumed cooking oil in the United States, may play a direct role in promoting obesity, and the effect appears tied to how the body processes one of its main components. Researchers fed mice a diet rich in soybean oil and tracked how they metabolized linoleic acid, an omega-6 fatty acid that makes up a large share of soybean oil. The acid is broken down into the body into molecules called oxylipins, and eating a lot of linoleic acid can raise the amount of these oxylipins. The study shows that certain oxylipins are linked to weight gain in mice. The New York Post is reporting a rich Brit is looking for a good breeder. Not the dog or horse kind. He's looking for the human kind. He has a 1,300-acre estate and 9-month supply of frozen sperm. Now he just needs a good breeder, he says. He's 79 years old. His name is Sir Benjamin Slade of Britain, and believe it or not, he's made Tinder accounts, taken out newspaper ads, and starred in a TV series, all in an effort to find a wife to produce an heir for his multi-million-dollar fortune. The baronet, a title just below baron and above most knights, revived his decades-long search for a spouse this week, listing a bizarre range of requirements for any future bride. Scorpios, Guardian news outlet readers, and people from countries beginning with the letter I or with green in the flag need not apply, Sir Benjamin said. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
This is a pixel.
I'm Groot.
Now, if you put a couple of million of these guys together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple of billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 360 billion of them, and you got Chesterton's book, Orthodoxy. But it doesn't smell like a book, and it burns teeny little holes in your cornea. So is the pixel really your friend?
I'm Groot.
No, but the Founders Trading Post is your friend, and we have actual books with actual smelly pages. Plus, our little bookstore has everything you'd expect.
I'm Groot.
Yes, Groot, to the gourmet coffee, but no to the One Tree Hill sappy guitar music.
Pick up a copy of G.K. Chesterton's Orthodoxy, plus many other Chesterton titles at shop.mychurch.com. It's the WWE and the UFC for live talk radio Thursday Night Throwdown, hosted by you. Win a seat at the table, win the throwdown, and then you pick next week's topic.
Now that's real live talk radio exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Radio, the way it should be.
Hey, Mrs. McGillicuddy, don't be a satellite radio snob and pass by the Mike Church Show. Come on in and browse.
May I help you?
Oh, no thanks, sir. Just browsing.
How long do you intend to browse?
Well, that lady there. You didn't ask her how long she intends to browse. How come you're asking us how long we intend to browse?
You don't look like browsers.
Now that that's over,
How about a Fresca?
the Mike Church Show, entertaining browsers and fans since 1992 on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
It is a Manic Monday, the first Monday in Advent this year. Advent 2025 is kicked off with the Feast of St. Andrew yesterday, and first Sunday of Advent as well. So Advent blessings to you. We are your Advent HQ at shop.mikechurch.com. That's shop.mikechurch.com. Great Cyber Monday sale going on at shop.mikechurch.com. Check your email for a Cyber Monday sales flyer. Too many great things to mention, but you can save up to 90%. 90. But there's only a certain amount that are good like that. For a Mike Church Show neon microphone t-shirt, $10. Dude, do I have to come to your door, knock on it, and actually hand it to you? $10. Even if you don't like me, it's still a t-shirt you can give to someone else. Oh, that logo is pretty cool. Shop.mikechurch.com. All day today for Cyber Monday. Maggie is nodding away. When you nod like that, somebody... That is, I cannot believe some of our wonderful chatters or someone just said that. You know, if I had to take if that was a Velcro wall and take a Velcro ball and throw it at it and just guess. Here, I'm not even going to look. Do they belong in a usual suspects lineup? Okay, all right. I know who it was. Got it. You know, some people just... Father Jeffrey Jambon's sermon yesterday, which is published as a podcast, and again, not 1 ounce of response to another beautiful posting of sermons on the Sermon Sunday podcast yesterday. And I added 6 new sermons yesterday, but that's okay. I'm trying to please God. If you get happy as a result, that's lanyap. Father Jambon reminded people that as they showed St. Andrew his cross, actually like made in the shape of an X, when they showed St. Andrew his cross, he actually shouted out, "Oh, precious cross," like he couldn't wait to be nailed to it like our Lord was. Imagine that kind of an attitude in or among Americans today. So, somebody asked the question. I saw Trader Joe reposted it. Joe Rogan was talking to some dame, some broad. And the broad asked him why there were so many despondent middle-aged men in America. Now, I don't know why Rogan would be an authority on this. Apparently, people seem to think that he is. And the answer that he gave was their wives are hags and are mean, and they're constantly telling them no, and they get called angry white men at work, and this has a collective impact on them, and they just hate life and they hate everyone. And so this is what's making all of them miserable. And, you know, if wives were just cooperating a bit more, if you get my drift, and people stop calling them names at work, well, then that would reverse the tide and what have you. I don't think it, now that's, some of that is just vicissitude of life stuff, which some of you seem to think you should be immune from. If our Lord and Savior himself used the term vicissitudes, and I don't think he used them in the terminology, I'm going to make it so you will completely avoid the vicissitudes of life. I'm pretty sure that he used it in the positive. Or with grace you can power onto it. And I'm completely paraphrasing now. about the vicissitudes of life. Some people seem to think that you're like entitled to live a life free of vicissitudes. What can I ask the question of you, sir, ma'am? What's the fun in that? You know, I was going to time out sidebar. It's my show. I could do whatever the hell I want, and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. A couple of things I'd like to talk about. Not on the cut sheet. Black Friday was spent, half of it, sitting on a couch at mother-in-law and father-in-law's house, watching the entirety of Lonesome Dove, which I had never seen before. Now, I'd seen, and I don't know why this happened, I had seen the last episode of Lonesome Dove, and I don't... Because when they started watching it from the beginning, I went, well, it sucks to be me because I know how the whole thing ends. Because I've actually seen the last episode. But I was the only one in the room that had not seen all of Lonesome Dove. And now that I've seen it, I agree with whoever said on our Western night, on Thursday Night Throwdown, it might be the best Western ever made. It's better than I ever thought that a TV miniseries can be. Robert Duvall should have won every award they could give him. I love Tommy Lee Jones. The cast, they were all great. The cast was awesome. Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, you had so many. Steve Buscemi had a role in Lonesome Dove. Angelica Houston. Diane Lane. So just so many. But what I thought, though, and this is just me, just thinking about it. That was a mini-series on, I want to say it was on CBS in early 1980s. Probably as a response to the urban cowboy craze. The guy's name that wrote the book, I'm trying to think of his name because I looked it up. The guy's name that wrote the book, and he's written 3 sequels since. Sold the rights to it to CBS or whoever, and they made it into a miniseries. I remember back in the day that this was the biggest event on television. You know what, dude? I didn't even realize, Louise, that was Ricky Schroeder who was Newt. Didn't even realize it. I knew he looked familiar. I could go like, I know that kid from somewhere. I couldn't place it. I want people to think about the America of Ronald Reagan's 1980s.
I'm looking.
And that was the biggest event in all of television
1989.
that year. It came out in 1989. So that's at the end of the end of the 80s. There was nothing objectionable about it. It's if you've read the book, I don't know how close they kept with the book because I haven't read the book. But it's just you know the story. It's a great American story there. They even have the immigrant. This one made me think of this earlier. The Irish immigrant kid that throws in with Gus and Captain Cole. And there's a scene in there where he says, I wasn't afraid to cross an ocean, but I'm terrified of a river. And, of course, if you know what happens, he's crossing the river and he gets bit by water moccasins. And he gets snake bit, right? And he gets killed. For those of you that think that we have it so bad, it's so terrible, everything's rotten, everything sucks, it's never been like this, this is America, darn it. Well, for the Irish kid that crossed the river in Lonesome Dove, it sucked. He's trying to make it to Montana so he can get his homestead and his ranch, or take a job at the ranch with Captain Cole, and he gets bit by a bunch of water moccasins, doesn't make it. Do you think he thought it was fair? In any event, the environment in which that was the biggest event on television, Lonesome Dove, And can you imagine with Lonesome Dove, if they were to say it hadn't been released and somebody was planning to release it with all the stupid streaming services and what have you, would it be the biggest event in television? No, it wouldn't be. I think that there's something that is something that's been lost in that transition. Then, secondly, I started reading a book. I had a 3-hour drive on the way home from Walsing and West on Saturday. So I'm like, you know what? I like listening to audio books while driving. So someone had suggested to me, sometime in the last year, someone had suggested to me that I read the book Great or Good to Great. How many of you are familiar with the book Good to Great? It's written by a guy named Jim Collins. Now, even though Collins wrote the book, he had a research team of like 26 people that worked on it. I just gotta, if you're, it doesn't even matter what you're doing in life. I think the book is worth reading. Good to Great is a seminal work, and I was reading it, listening to the audio book on the way home, and you can ask Maggie, I was so excited when I got home, I couldn't wait to tell her. And then I learned this, and then the guy said this, and then I did this. There was something about, and there is something about, and I don't think this happens, or is possible that it happens as often as it can happen in America and other countries. So while you're belly aching and squawking about how rotten it is, maybe you should work on being, if you're good at something, being great at something. And so you go from good to great. There's a lot of lessons, especially in people skills in that book. I highly recommend it to anyone. All right. 844-527-8723. Cyber Monday sale going on at shop.mikechurch.com. Shop with us today. Save a ton. You know what, Joe Friday? That's interesting. Was it really? Joe Friday in the chat room, Randy Mundy, is saying that it was required reading for anyone that worked for me. You know what, dude? I can completely see why you would make people read Good to Great by Jim Collins as a condition. I think that in the chapter, I learned, and I have 8 hours left to go, Joe Friday. So I listened to 3, I got 8 hours left to go. So it's a long work. I thought that the chapter 3 on the pyramid, the people pyramid, was the most phenomenal maybe thing in business that I've ever heard. The chapter about you got think of people in a company at different levels in the shape of a pyramid, not the food pyramid. The bottom level is where almost everyone is. That's level 1. The top level is where almost no one is. That's level 5. All right, 844-527-8723. It's a great book. Good to Great. Good to Great. Maybe we should sell it in the Founders Trading Post or the actual book. Okay. Great sale going on. Speaking of Good to Great, good sale has just turned into a great sale at shop.mikechurch.com. What is this conversation that I'm missing out on that is going on in the chat room?
Freaking Schaefer's going communist. How dare people make money with their companies, and at some point enough is enough, you make too much. I get what you're trying to say. I do. However, it's their company. It's their money. It is not our decision or our right to tell them how to spend their money. If Jeff Bezos wants to build a rocket in the shape of a Big Mac, he can do so. It's his money.
It's his money. It's his money. You know they have a rule in Fight Club? What's the first rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club. We're going to make a rule in the chat room. What's the first rule of chat room? Talk about what the host is talking about on air. If you want to have a private chat with someone and yell at them for whatever reason, do it privately. You know, the chat room is supposed to be, especially when there's a live show going on. This is why people are, how come you don't hang out in the chat room? Because you distract me. Because you're not talking about anything in the same, you're not even the same galaxy that I'm in. So it's also, every once in a while, drop a comment, ha, that's funny. It's also kind of disrespectful. It's my domain. Maggie and I pay for it. It's our chat room. It's for the Crusade Channel stuff that we're talking about. I knew when I saw the head tilt, I knew something awry was up. All right. Well, you know, since they love to talk so bad about him, play digital media file number 8. Let's talk about what Trump was saying. Thanks to Randy Money, by the way, for actually hearing that I was talking about a book.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Joe Friday. You give me hope for the future. Well, you ever thought, Mike, maybe that no one wanted to talk about your stupid book? I said I was going to talk about the book, and I can do whatever the hell I want. Only 3 hours, and darn it, I was going to spend some of it talking. You know what? It's a really great concept, I think, good to great. I think if more people pursued good to great, then we'd probably have a lot more American greatness around us. But that's just me. The hell do I know?
You mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive or retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
But you don't think
you have a problem with him? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
There's something wrong with Waltz. Now I'm being instructed by Schaefer in the chat room that I should take my topic cues from chat.
Oh, we'd never get anything accomplished.
Why don't we just start tomorrow's show and let all of you host it then? What do you need me for? You know, El Rushbo used to say this is his show, and he didn't care what anyone else thought that he was talking about, because if he was talking about it, it was interesting. It was interesting to him. It was interesting to listeners. You know, I actually toyed with the idea for a while. Maggie told me not to do it. But, you know, you could put a time limit in between people's messages.
I'm reconsidering.
Well, for some people, you know, a day and they'd never hit the limit. For other people, 11 seconds and they'd hit the limit. Trump on reverse migration. Hey, we had reverse discrimination. Now we have reverse migration. It sounds like a pop song.
Reverse deception?
I love yes, reverse deception, reverse migration.
What do you mean by reverse migration? It means get people out that are in our country, get them out of here. I want to get them out.
We agree.
We have a lot of people in our country that shouldn't be here, and they came in through Biden, and he was the worst president in the history of our country. But the single biggest thing he did was allow millions of people into our country that shouldn't be here. Drug dealers, prisons were opened up and allowed to come into our country. You take a look at the people that were allowed to come into our country. We're paying a big price for it, and we will for years to come, including the recent killer of 2 wonderful National Guards people. And I'll tell you what, that animal should not have been allowed to come into our country.
He's talking about the National Guard. This is a double indemnity, if you ask me. A female National Guardsman was shot and killed by an Afghani national nutcase who supposedly was radicalized after he came to the United States. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Can you believe that? That he came here as just a regular old garden variety, if that's possible, Afghani. He got turned in to an America-hating Allahu Akbar. He was heard yelling Allahu Akbar as he fled the scene after he shot that poor girl and killed her. Which, of course, you heard Amy Cloimbacile earlier. You heard her say, well, he used that as a launchpad to go attacking national immigrants from foreign countries in the third world. He was an immigrant from a foreign country that's third world. I'm pretty sure that he qualifies under that description. And then he's asked about, well, we don't have enough time for the pause on third world immigration. We'll talk about it when we come back here on a Monday. A couple other headlines on the way out to the New York Times torches Tim Walz at the Somalian scam. Woke Minnesota for $1 billion on his watch. This is a new Tenoch Times story on the $1 billion. Billions and billions. It was apparently was $1 billion. I guess that's just chump change, though, when you're aiding and abetting and assisting poor, ragged immigrants who just want to partake of the love and the opportunity that is America. You mean the love of opportunity to defraud, cheat, and steal from actual citizens? Get out.
May be a work of non-fiction.
What? That's scarier than getting stuck in an elevator with Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, good grief. Really? Come on, I'm trying to be serious here. Okay.
Hear it and other amazing tales on Turley's Believe It or Else, 10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Tuesday on the Crusade Channel. Our app and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Hello, Crusaders. I'm Janet Huxley at the Crusade Channel News Desk with your Crusade Crucials for Monday, December 1st, 2025. This report is brought to you by the new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, the best way to listen to the KingDude ever. An installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device. Go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, and then open the app. It is literally that easy. In the market report, the Dow was up at last close 0.61%, with the S&P up as well 0.54%. NASDAQ was up 0.65%. Today in National Day calendar news, it is, of course, Cyber Monday, the internet's answer to Black Friday deals. The official observance, of course, taking place the Monday after Thanksgiving. Today is Rosa Parks Day, the American civil rights hero who twice a year on February 4th and December 1st is recognized. On December 1st of 1955, after a long Thursday at work, Rosa Parks boarded a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, took her seat in the colored section, and when the bus driver asked Parks to give up her seat, she refused. It's National Eat a Red Apple Day. It's also National Pie Day and Day Without Art Day. Our quote of the day, prayer draws into the soul the Holy Spirit and raises man to heaven. Saint Ephrem. Our saint of the day is Saint Andrew. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
Hello, Crusaders. It's Trader Jill, a.k.a. Lee. When I want the best in live talk radio in the palm of my hand, I always have it with the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. Even for technophobes, like Jim.
I heard that!
Listening to or watching the KingDude live or on podcast is just literally 2 clicks away, and installing the app is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. Tap login now or proceed as guest. See? It's really that simple. Don't ever be without the Master Chief himself. Again, no matter where you are, install the Crusade Channel app today.
The all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app is the best way to listen to the Crusade Channel ever. And installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. Install the Crusade Channel 2.0 app today at crusadechannel.com/app.
We don't work on Sundays, and you shouldn't work on Sundays, but our priests work every Sunday.
And we literally thank God for that, because who else could turn a lazy Sunday into a spiritual adventure? We invite you to spend your Sundays with our priests on Sermon Sundays, exclusively on the Crusade channel. Get timely, seasonal, inspirational, and educational sermons from Catholic priests, all wrapped up in the best Catholic sacred chant music that's so heavenly. It might just make your halo glow. That's Sermon Sunday, where faith meets fun without missing a beat.
Catch all new seasonal sermons every Sunday morning, 6 a.m. East to 6 p.m. exclusively here on the Crusade channel.
And now, for the first time ever, those soul-stirring sermons you soak up on Sunday are available as podcasts Monday through Saturday on crusade.com. Because even divine wisdom needs a replay button. And who wouldn't want a holy encore to kick off their week without the risk of divine intervention for hitting snooze?
Okay, please enter the 9-digit 2-step authorization code we just emailed you. Jeez. What do you mean, prove I'm human? Okay, that's a car. That's a car. That's a car. Those are not cars. Please try again. Oh my gosh. I'll show you. Try again, stupid piece of AI mother. Here, try this.
Jim, what are you doing? Good grief, man. This isn't Office Space the movie. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to send the KingDude a donation through the stupid computer.
Like Trump, the KingDude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the KingDude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
The Mike Church Show, serving the hard liquor of truth to men who want to get drunk fast. Since 1992.
I bet you a 60-year-old Patty Smythe. Can still out-belt a tune better than 35-year-old Taylor Swift. Hey, blessed Advent, first Monday in Advent to all of you. Today's the feast of Saint Natalia and Saint Edmund Campion, who was brutally martyred under Queen Elizabeth the first. There, yesterday was the feast of Saint Andrew. If you've begun your Saint Andrew's Chaplet devotions, sneak a prayer in. Who were we supposed to? Shoulder surgery. Mitter Mundy's wife, Deb, who just had shoulder surgery. So many causes and cases. By the way, also, happy birthday to Alyssa Lehman, a.k.a. Ave Maria 474 in the chat room. The Big Bible! Hey, she published it, not me. You're not supposed to tell them how much you took. She published pictures of her 50th birthday cake. Don't take it out on me. I'm just the messenger. I want to hear this pausing of the immigration to the third world and how it's put to Trump. But before we do that, New York Times has thrown Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, under the bus over a massive and sprawling fraud scandal. I told you when they let this dude on the national stage, the first day that I saw this wacko talk, because I don't cover Minnesota politics, I don't care. First day that I saw this wacko talk, I went, there's something not right about this man. Something not right. Then when we found out that he was the Tampon Tim responsible, you hear their name Tampon Tim, you think, so what's wrong with that? Girls, tampons and girls, little girl, that's not for girls. The tampon dispensing machine was put into a boy's locker room. Try and do a little reading every now and then. When Kamala Cackala Harris picked him, which is probably one of the most stupid, foolish political moves in history, and you heard this guy speak, and he just lies. This is no surprise here. The fraud involves a series of schemes that federal authorities say took root over the past 5 years, many centered within Minnesota's Somali diaspora. Well, we're going to reverse that diaspora. They need to be sent back. The president can bring to an end the designation status of people who are refugees. It's in the code. I saw it. President actually can declare an emergency and say, I'm suspending it. You have to go home. Many center within Minnesota Somali diaspora where individuals establish companies that build state agents. So you come to the United States so that you can steal? That build state agencies for services that were never performed. Prosecutors say 59 people have been convicted across various cases so far and 3 separate plots. In Minnesota's fraud scandal stood out even in the context of rampant theft during the pandemic. When Americans stole tens of billions of dollars through unemployment benefits, the stimmy check, boom. I know all about the stimmy check boom. We saw increases in things. And I'm going like, where are people getting all this money from? Well, they were getting stimmy checks. And then, not that any of you did this, but other fake scams or other scams were being run where every Medicaid office in every state was bamboozled, scammed. America stole tens of billions through unemployment benefits, business loans, and other forms of aid, according to federal auditors. And just something that just continues to surprise me. President Trump, someone that is in the Trump administration, inner circle, put the Small Business Administration down. Shoot it. Put 12-gauge pump, double pump shotgun bullets into its head and kill it. It has never started a successful small business. The federal government shouldn't be in the business of aiding and assisting and choosing and picking winners and losers. Basically, this is all a fraud. This is a money laundering operation. Democrats can make sure that small business loans can only go to certain classes of people, and I'm not in it. Dude number two's first wife, the one from England, Jennifer, tried to get an SBA loan to start her little seamstress business or whatever she had going on. They told her that she wasn't the right kind of immigrant. You know why she wasn't the right kind of immigrant? Because she was a white English woman. The guy who did the loan literally told her that if you were from Somalia or Kenya or whatever, yeah, we'd give it to you. First public indication of a systemic problem emerged in 2022 when attorneys began prosecuting fraud related to pandemic-era child nutrition programs. I'm not going to have time to read the rest of this story. Fact of the matter is, the fallout has reverberated sharply within Minnesota's Somali community of roughly 80,000 residents. That is a country. 80,000. That's an invasion force. Many say the scandals have cast suspicion on innocent families and entrepreneurs. Go to Somalia and be an entrepreneur. Work to change the laws there and make Somalia great. Can't be great again because it never was. Well, you can't cast a broad brush on these people from Somalia. Yes, I can. I'm a citizen. Yes, I can. Do whatever the hell I want. I never wanted, and neither did a majority, a vast, overwhelming majority of Americans wanted unregulated immigration into the United States, permanent immigration of third worlders who we have nothing in common with. That's just stupid. Just because they're not white. The Irish people that came here spoke English, stupid. The Irish people that came here were Christians, most of them Catholics, but they were all Christians, stupid. Well, we don't have a Christian nation. Well, maybe we should. Maybe we should. All right, here's what Trump had to say. Digital media file number 10 about the situation. 80,000 Somalians.
Pause asylum into the U.S.
I think a long time.
Can you give any kind of time? What's
we
a
don't
long
want those
time?
people. We have enough problems. We don't want those people.
Is that a year, 2 years?
No time limit.
And then
but it could be a long time.
You said that
we don't want those people. Do you understand that?
I understand.
You understand it?
I understand.
Who are you with?
I'm with News Nation. So
Okay,
my
News
name's Libby
Nation,
D.
News Nation, great. Let me just tell you something. We don't want those people. Does that make sense? You know why we don't want them? Because many of them are no good, and they shouldn't be in our country.
What do you mean by those people? Can you clarify?
People from different countries that are not friendly to us, and countries that are out of control themselves. Countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military, no police. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them.
How many countries, roughly, would you put on that list?
She said how many?
Yeah, how many countries, yeah. Would you put on that list?
Well, I guess we gave you 19, right? And there's probably more than that.
Is that what you mean when you mean third world countries, those 19?
No, I don't think they're all third world, but in many cases they are third world. They're not good countries. They're very crime-ridden countries. They're countries that don't do a good job. They're countries that don't register from the standpoint of success. And we, frankly, don't need their people coming into our country telling us what to do.
When you talk about denaturalization...
I'm talking about like Somalia, where you have a congressman goes around telling everybody about our Constitution, and yet she supposedly came into our country by marrying her brother.
Can you give us a list outside of the 19 other countries? Is it just the 19 countries? You know the name of the countries. There's 19. There's 19 of them. So far, you had asked me good questions, or I'm not going to give you another interview, okay? Ask the right questions. This is third world wealth transfer. These people come here to loot, rob, pillage, and steal. They think that it's some kind of an entitlement because the Democrat Party has told them that they are entitled to a share of what you are about to earn today. If I want to donate to the lost cause of Africans who are struggling in whatever African country, it's not going to be one that is run by Muslims. It's not going to be one where there is no chance
0.0
that whatever it is that I donate or I give actually gets to poor people. And you should think the same. Yeah, but all money is fungible. No. They've been playing this scam for 40 years now. This Poverty Inc. scam it's old. Few people can be guilted into this now. You can give your money, and for only $19.96 a day, that's 63 cents a day you can save. I tell you what, after we are done with what needs to be done to fix the inside and to fix the inner workings, the Catholic hierarchy and the Catholic Church, and look, Grace is going to have to do that. God will have to do. The Holy Ghost, the Paraclete will do that. Our Lady will do that. Our Lord will do it. It's His church. He's in charge. He knows what He's doing. I trust Him. It will get repaired, and she will rise again and be a paragon of moral guidance and virtue among people again. At such time, when there are missions that go in to other countries for the purpose of actual conversions, then you can count on me. Yeah, I'll support you. Till such time, you know what the biggest problem in most of these these third world countries are? They're not allowed to own private property. It's in the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not steal. Private property is in the Ten Commandments. They are not allowed to own private property. It's illegal. It literally is illegal. And why has that been tolerated by the rest of the world? Because we can launder trillions of dollars from first world nations to third world nations, claiming that we're dealing with endemic, systemic poverty that cannot be eradicated and it cannot be fixed. In a country like across that band there where Nigeria and Somalia is, and where Cameroon and the rest of those countries are, ladies and gentlemen, you can't stop crops from growing. You can't stop them. This is not a matter of whether or not you can get lettuce and corn and wheat or whatever, depending on the climate, to grow. It's a matter of whether you can stop it. It's so fertile and rich. But they're not allowed to access it, just like in Haiti. You can't stop rice and sugarcane from growing in Haiti. You can't. If you went in the wild, if that country was Jurassic Park just left for 100 years and you went back, the entire island would be crawling with sugarcane and other crops that are just going to grow because nature said, hey, I'm a sugarcane. I'm a little sugarcane, short and stout. The first world criminals in the first world create these situations so that they and their buddies and their children's buddies can profit off it for generations. The American public is surely and slowly waking up to this, and we've had it. We don't want any more. All right. Let's go to our political affairs correspondent, Magdalene Rose, here on the first Monday in Advent. Remember, we're having a big, great, this is the greatest Advent, the greatest Cyber Monday sale we've ever had in the Founders Trading Post store. Hi, it's President Trump, and I shop with the KingDude because I like him and because he's trying to make his store great again. So shop with the guy today, okay? He tries to buy American, too. He does, buys American. Shop.mikechurch.com. Is that the right address, KingDude? I think that's correct. Shop.mikechurch.com. Great Cyber Monday sales going on there. You should have my Trump watch, and if you had my Trump watch, I'd give you a bigger endorsement. Shop.mikechurch.com. Check your email. These specials are all in an email, but they're also on the website at shop.mikechurch.com. All right, Magdalene Rose, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, how's the stupid party managing to... there's a list at the... where I had it earlier here today. Hold on. Brian C. Junedepth At AmericanThinker.com, a president at full speed and Congress asleep at the wheel. Trump has thus far signed, listen to these stats. It's simply incredible. 217 executive orders, 54 memoranda, and 110 proclamations in 310 days. And yet Mike Johnson and John Thune have only codified 28 of these actions into law, all of them through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Then there is the matter of 1,300 Senate confirmable positions. Of the 823 of them, the Senate has only confirmed 265. 289 of them remain without a nominee, meaning that an Obama or a Biden appointee is still calling the shots inside Trump's government. What is the do-nothing, stupid party doing?
Well, I think we have very bad congressional leadership. And if you remember, I originally was very much in the camp of Rick Scott, the Senate Majority Leader, because I believe that he's a businessman. He also is not somebody who has the luxury of being like in a deep red state in the same way John Thune is. So I think the choice of a mild-mannered Senate Majority Leader is a catastrophic mistake. And then you combine that with Johnson, who I do think is effective, and I don't doubt his conservatism or his principles, but there is a lack of like viper strike mentality in him. When you have two mild-mannered people up against the party that celebrates communist Islamic figures winning in New York, that's a problem. I think that the House and Senate leadership should change, and at minimum, Senate leadership should change.
I don't know how that gets affected. I really don't. Mike Johnson is campaigning for Jeff Van Epps today? Van Epps in Nashville.
Yes.
He's running. Okay, who is this woman that has written about how much she hates Nashville, how much she hates country music? What's her name?
Afton, yes. She's a weirdo. She has done statements and articles. I've been following her closely. So she says that her mother told her how unhappy she was with being a mother when she was a little girl and how much she regretted having children, and that's informed her whole worldview, and that her mother told her, never do it. It'll destroy your life, your dreams, your happiness. So she's 36 now, and you're seeing the slide down to what I call like liberal evilness within somebody when they're so twisted. So she hates Nashville because there are bridal parties, bachelorette parties, baby showers, and she hates how loud the happy women apparently are there.
Well, this is a district that Trump won like by 75-25. Do the leftards actually think they're going to flip this seat? Is this guy that's running that bad of a candidate?
He's pretty bad. He's really bad. The problem is that we had really low turnout in the last election with their Republican special election situation. She also has a lot of money behind her. Like a huge portion of people are backing her. If you remember the Beto O'Rourke race, the first one, not the second one, a few years back, the amount of money in special interest groups, she's pretending she doesn't. But if you look at her funding, it's all through Act Blue, through different subsidiaries. If she gets into Congress, I think she's like the sort of white girl version of AOC on a different level.
Well, that's where they're going, or the Nashville version of AOC. If you have a decent turnout, I don't see how you flip. That seat has, just for like however many decades, gone to a Republican. I don't. Anything can happen. Mike Johnson's campaigning there today. Trump put tweets out saying that if you live in this district, I am asking you personally to go out and vote tomorrow for Jeff Van Epps to make sure that seat is not flipped. So we'll see. We'll see. I think that voter turnout is going to be a problem. You have a situation where, and maybe this will be a barometer of this. If the president gets actually directly involved in a campaign, maybe there is a shot that you hold that seat, regardless of how stupid Congress is, because he is trying to do what he promised to do. But congressional leadership, I read the contract with America from 1994 in the first hour of the program. I'm like, This is what they propose to do to get power. These people are so stupid and bad. They haven't proposed to do much of anything, and they have power.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think one of the problems Trump also has here is that the MAGA base has fractured significantly. When Speaker McCarthy was thrown out, that was a big moment because it showed the power that people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz have. That faction of the Republican Party has gotten bigger. They're kind of shifting a little bit into the woke right category. Trump needs to keep this coalition together. So unfortunately, even to replace leadership at this point, I think we could be facing an empty seat for a very long time because I do not think that Trump has full control of this caucus right now. And Vance is not particularly helpful. He didn't have a lot of time in the Senate. He had half of a term, I believe. So Trump is really operating at a deficit for anyone who could be a congressional liaison for him right now.
JD was elected in 2022.
Yeah, I think it was 2022. So I think he got maybe 2 years in.
Well, he was elected at the height giveaways, $1 trillion giveaways to the Ukrainians. Because I remember some of his first speeches when, after he was sworn in, were his visceral opposition to the involvement of American forces and American money in the war in Ukraine. JD has been out there. I mean, he's more of a stuff for the administration than he is stuff for the party. But he has been out there.
Yeah. Well, he has, but I think in terms of Congress respecting him, that's the deficit here. When Obama became president, Congress was afraid of Joe Biden. There were people in Congress who had served with him for decades. They were scared of him. So Obama would send him, and I think him and that Biden and Nancy Pelosi strong-armed a lot of people into voting for Obamacare. The problem here is that Vance is a very good ambassador for the administration in Trump's view, but he's not. People are not scared of him in Congress. They're not afraid of what he's going to do. If you upset Biden during that first Obama term, I think the feeling was Biden would destroy your political career, and Obama would let him. Fast forward to now, Trump doesn't have a heavyweight by him to force Congress. He's got to find somebody like that because right now it seems like Congress does not fear him.
Well, I don't know that. You call Thomas Massie out, who does write resolutions that we all agree with, pretty much. You call out Marjorie Taylor Greene to the point where she actually resigns. I don't think we've had you on since Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned. Because we were remote last week, and then you had laryngitis before. I think that I understand why she quit. I also don't understand why she doesn't think that she owes it to her constituents to hold that seat until they can have a special election in May to fill it.
Yeah, I have a problem with that as well. And I watched her entire video statement explaining why she quit. And I do think I understand her frustration. The other side of that is that there are many people in the administration. I've heard this for well over a year. Other people have as well. She did seem to think that President Trump should answer her all the time about everything. And I think that there was a feeling in the administration of he didn't want to answer the phone calls anymore because they were constant. His chief of staff, people have spoken about this. Stephen Miller's talked about this. Laura Trump has as well. She was blowing up his phone consistently. And the thing with Trump, and Charlie Kirk explained this, was less is more. Like, if you hold back a little bit on everything, he does pick up the phone when you call him. Kirk would say that about, he wouldn't invite him to every event, but there'd be events that he knew it was important to him to show up in, specifically in Arizona before the election, and Trump would show up. So I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, I understand her frustration, but I do think that she had a bit of an ego in this, and the constant blowing up of President Trump's phone and thinking he has to respond consistently, that's not going to help you do business for your constituents.
Well, I don't think that, and this is like everyone that's ever had someone that's worked with them or around them that was a nag. Everyone has had a nag. Well, you could have done this. Well, you should have done that. Well, if I would have been there, well, you know what? You weren't there. You didn't have to make that decision. You know, first part of leadership, Magdalene, and this is the part that I think Americans used to excel at until we decided that social media and that media should be making celebrities out of people that are in business. When people that are in business should just be really good, as Cal Coolidge said, the business of America is business. You should be content in knowing that you did a great job. Humility requires you to just say, you know what, I really didn't do anything. I had great people around me, and I had good people that did this. But the first rule of leadership, everything is your fault. Everything. Now, I don't have any problem with the president blaming the left for what it's done with the judiciary and give them credit. They were like, no, we're not going to let you do it. We're going to use our judges, our judiciary, and our governors to stop you at every turn. So give them credit. And they are not, do you see any crack in that armor? I don't.
No, and I think one of the things here is that Trump is not really in a place where he's going to suffer the fools that he would last time. If you go against Donald Trump at this point, you know what's going to happen. I think Massey is the exception to this because Trump started it with Massey. All Massey did was uphold his previous beliefs. Massey didn't try to usurp Trump's authority. He didn't do any of this. So Massey's in a different category. But Marjorie Taylor Greene as well, I will say, she began to sort of criticize conservatives for being conservatives as well. I watched the whole interview on The View, and it did feel increasingly like we were being shamed for something, like not like we weren't in the know enough. She destroyed a lot of goodwill, and I think Trump knew that, which is why he wasn't worried about her bailing.
Well, I think that one of the other things that Marjorie Taylor Greene did that I didn't like, and you know this, and you didn't like it either, she treated us like dirtbags. She wouldn't return your calls. Her staff would not agree to an interview, even when I was on a radio station that was practically in her district. Those are not the actions of someone that is a humble servant of the people. And again, let me go back to what I was saying about everything is your fault. Mr. President, everything is your fault on your side of the aisle, too. When people like us point out that you're not doing this and Congress is not doing that, yes, you need to say it's my fault. It's my, I haven't motivated Johnson and Thune enough. I think that he's tried. I don't know what else he can do to John Thune. Maybe he has to go scorched earth on him. He will not end the filibuster. That, to me, is a devotion to an anachronistic religion that just needs to get buried. In the damn filibuster, pass the 12 or 13 spending bills, appropriations you said you were going to, and you'll win the midterms. People will reward you. Failure to do so, bad things are going to happen. And this is completely, here we are a year away, completely and totally preventable at this point. I don't know. Does the president have still enough political clout where he can say, Rick Scott, I'll work the phones. We need to get rid of Thune. But he keeps praising Thune. And look, I get it. I'm in business. I work with great people like you, Magdalene, and Maggie, and my sister Melissa, and Ashley, and Jim, and other great people, and Janet. You have to motivate people. Well, at least you have to give them a reason to stay motivated, because I think most people that are really good at what they do are self-motivated. But you have to give them also, every once in a while, guidance is okay. Leadership requires you to say, hey, man, dude, you are running this part of the business fantastically. You're great at it. I think you should be. Let me give you a pointer here on some part of your leadership skill or something that you can get better at, or you can do in a different way, or something to that effect. And that's what a good leader does. But he trusts his people to carry it out, right? And to a fault, I think that's what President Trump does, and you can knock him for it. Pam Bondi, the primary example. He appointed her. He expects her to carry out his vision for the Attorney General's office. It's only a matter of time with him mean tweeting her before she fails so miserably at that job that he has to move on. I don't know that he can do that in the Senate. Can he?
I don't know, but I think that Pam Bondi's, like you mentioned Pam Bondi, and the criticisms against her Fox News has tried to downplay it. It tried to say that it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. She has cost many other people in his administration a lot of bad publicity. If you look at the Jeffrey Epstein list, for example, somehow all of that became Kash Patel and Dan Bongino's fault as well. So the people who failed Trump, I think he's giving a little more leeway, because he also did not like in the previous administration how people would criticize him for the high turnover. I remember that really offended him. He's trying to limit that, but people should realize that there will come a point where he's had enough. And I think that 1 year mark, we're going to see a lot of switchover.
Well, I don't think anyone of us thinks that that is a bad thing. You know, if you read the book, Good to Great, the dude says it's not getting people on the bus. It's getting the right people on the bus. He has good people on the bus, but in certain positions, he doesn't have the right people on the bus. I completely and totally agree with you about Rick Scott. Look at what Scott did when he was governor of Florida. There's leadership right there. Look at what he did during Hurricane, what was the name that hit Tampa? Irma. During Hurricane Irma. I still remember him going on news shows. Dude didn't sleep for like 4 days. Going on news shows going like, look, don't send us money. Don't send us food. Send us prayers. That's what a leader does. You go on TV. You need to pray for us. I think Rick Scott would ultimately be, but you know what? The Uniparty chose Thune. The Uniparty knew what they were doing, Magdalene Rose. The Uniparty knew their boy was the Nebraska corn, was the former Nebraska corn farmer, or whatever the hell it was that he did. Will Trump make the move? He has to before it's too late, per the midterms. And I don't know, is there anyone else even on the horizon in Congress? You know, Mike Johnson may be he's a Zionist, so, you know, we have to overlook that. But he may actually be conservative on most other things. Is the dude an actual leader, though? I mean, where's the list? Where's the agenda that you're going to get your guys to pass in the next 100 days so that you can go to the American public and go like, this is what we did for you with the OBBB?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think Johnson originally, if you remember, I was critical of that because I didn't think he had the star power to do it. I know somebody who was in D.C. who interviewed Rick Scott sort of informally during that leadership contest. And this reporter said Rick Scott said to him, look, I tried. I did my best. I tried to avoid what's going to happen. And I think from that, we should have seen that Rick Scott had a really good understanding of what was going to come from this. And he said to this reporter, I'm trying to avoid what's going to happen. There's no way to stop it. They've got everybody they need to vote for it. And he seemed even a little defeated. I remember him telling me he seemed very defeated. He seemed like he couldn't really get any traction, even though he knew he just had to try hard. He was trying really hard. So Rick Scott is someone we could still tap in for leadership. But the House is challenging because House Republicans don't want to have an empty chair again. They went through that. There were countless votes. They don't want to dive back into that. I'd rather have Johnson than have Thune at this point.
Well, and right, you're right. You don't want another Matt Gaetz versus Kevin McCarthy scandal or scam or controversy on your hands next January. I don't think there's going to be a push to get rid of Johnson. I just think you got to figure out a way to motivate the guy. And I think that someone in the executive branch is going to have to do that motivating. There is stuff that they get that's still out there that they can do. Look, if you want to get rid of third worlders and you want them to stop, like, even trying to come here, abolish the SBA. Kill it. Who's a woman from Georgia that's running it now? Kelly Loeffler. Tell Kelly Loeffler, you're going Lyndon McMahon. Scorched earth. We're bringing this joker to an end. I'm going to executive order this SOB out of existence. This is where vast majorities of the funding comes from third worlders who land here and get SBA loans to take over American businesses like convenience stores. True story. It happens all the time. If you want to stop them and the scam, and the Democrats know this is a money laundering scam for them as well, if you want to stop them from doing this, then kill the SBA. I don't even know what his budget is. kill it. Be done with it. And say that this, if you in the states want to run this, you run it. If you want to have an SBA in your state, if you're stupid enough to do that, then you do that. Otherwise, I'm killing it. I'm surprised, as the entrepreneur that the President Trump is, the businessman that he is, that he hasn't already called for that.
Well, I think Kelly Loeffler especially, she's somebody with so much dirty money around her. She's somebody who has so many connections. She's probably put into that place to make sure it doesn't happen, to make sure that it continues on. If you remember, she tried to pretty much buy a Georgia Senate seat. She tried to engage in all of that, and she's donated so much money. For her, it really is a pay-for-play game, and I mean, that's what people like her do. That's their world. But I would imagine she's in that job so Trump can never get rid of it.
Interesting. That is an interesting take. And in the contrast, Linda McMahon didn't need the money. She wasn't little boy blue. She didn't need the money. So she was saying, oh, you want to bring it to an end? Yeah, I can do that. So the Department of Education is no more. All right. Well, there's a big election tomorrow, and we will keep an eye on it. By the by, we have this. We'll play this out because it's just at this point. It's Jasmine Crockett. Maggie, play digital media file number 4. Where's the one when she? Well, number 13. At this point, I just think she's trying to gaslight her way to becoming president of the NAACP or something else. She's not going to win any higher offices. The woman is an absolute blithering moron. And she said, look, this is file footage to run against her for anyone that decides to challenge her in a primary or in a one-on-one contest, which she's probably going to lose anyway next November.
I just want to be clear. This is the party that says that, you know, they care so much about life until life actually shows up at their front door. And this is also the party that supposedly is about Christianity. And I just imagine what they would have done to a little baby Jesus. But that's a whole other issue. You know, it is really so heartbreaking. We know that under the prior Trump administration, it was the children in cages. So for me, expecting them to do better by children was not one of the things that was on my bingo card.
You know what? You are such a stupid SOB. Let me tell you something, bimbo. More babies are breathing today than would have been had Kamala Kakala Harris been elected. Okay? There are more children alive on planet Earth today because of Donald John Trump. We actually do love babies. We just don't have to import them from the third world to love them. We actually want to love them right here at home and not kill them in utero. You know, again, this rhetoric inflames a base that is very narrow and very small. And I have to think that she knows her time is up. She's trying to get a book deal, trying to get a TV movie deal. This is the kind of radical, irrational kind of behavior that you would see publicly for someone that knows their time on that 15-minute of fame stage is about to expire.
Well, I think that's true, and I've always sort of wondered who her long-term audience is, because Kamala Harris at least tried to look somewhat professional. Jasmine Crockett goes the opposite direction. She tries to look unprofessional. She tries to be sort of like the Kim Kardashian-esque member of Congress. And then if you look at her interviews from several years ago, she's eloquent, she's speaking with a very different accent. She's very, very different. So Jasmine Crockett is sort of a media creation with no path forward. She's talking a little bit about a Senate seat. The idea that they're going to risk a Texas Senate seat on Jasmine Crockett, especially with Beto O'Rourke there, who I think his biggest goal in life is to be a Texas senator, I don't see her going anywhere, and I don't even think her book will do particularly well.
Well, that one was not getting anywhere near the United States Senate, not in that state. She may have to move to another state. Look at this. Here's another breaking news. Appeals court disqualifies Haba as New Jersey U.S. attorney. He appointed her. How?
Yeah, she's been in a lot of there's been a lot of attacks against her. I think that she was good for him in his process. I will tell you, she does not have support amongst Republican leadership. They don't like her. They think she's unqualified. So he doesn't have a lot of capital to throw her way to protect her.
Well, keep an eye on that. All right, Magdalene, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Shop till you drop. Cyber Monday sale, shop.mikechurch.com. Look, there's a sale going on all month long for the gift card 3-month and 1-year memberships at crusadechannel.com/card. Now, here's a bonus. You can actually buy your Crusade Channel gift memberships in the same shopping cart you buy your Founders Trading Post gift packages at, or whatever else you get from the FTP. That's right. The gift card checkout for a 3-month Founders Pass membership as a gift for $20, or a 1-year for $50, that's $130 savings. You can do it all at shop.mikechurch.com. So, and you can also get a Founders Trading Postcard to throw in your card. And yeah, you can actually print it out, and it looks just like a gift card if you want to do that. Or you can email it to the person you wish to give the gift card to, and you can even choose the date. So if you want to send it on Christmas Eve, do that. You want to send it tomorrow? Do that. You want to send it on Epiphany? Do that. Got a birthday in mind? Send it then. Gift cards are a great way to give the Crusade Channel's Founders Trading Post store. So shop with us today on Cyber Monday. Check your email for fantastic sales and the email flyer, and then head on over to shop.mikechurch.com. Have a safe and blessed remainder of the first Monday of Advent. Blessed feast, St. Natalia and St. Edmund Campion. If news breaks out today, we will break in. Thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate all of you. God bless you and Mary keep you.
I'm going